Pickup, the MVP of package pickup options. Amazon Pickup is a convenient and secure way to collect your Amazon packages from locations that are near you. Choose an Amazon locker or counter. Whether you're hustling between home, work, or your usual game day spots, grab your packages on your schedule. Amazon Pickup is the worry-free option for the times when home delivery isn't ideal. To find your nearest Amazon Pickup location, go to amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the kickoff time first before showing up at the stadium.
What? The slot's full already?
Final score of today's game.
You said kickoff was at 3. It was last week.
That's not how it works, Bob.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Gear up for game day with GNC. Just like your favorite college team prepares for their matchup each week, you can get ready to crush your fitness goals with GNC. Your coaches are in stores, ready to help you build muscle like a linebacker or slim down after a tough season. They have everything you need, including all the top brands, the new flavors you crave, the hottest protein, pre-workouts, creatine, and more to tackle your fitness goals. Don't wait for the final whistle. Fuel your fitness at GNC. Visit your local GNC or GNC.com today.
We go 12:18 on this live imaging Tuesday, Election Day. Be sure to vote, okay? If you're not going to vote for one of the presidential candidates, then vote for Clinton Yates. Once again.
The president.
I voted.
But you didn't put the sticker on you?
No.
I had the sticker on.
Mine fell.
I kept it because I was going to make a big show out of putting it on my shirt today, but I didn't know which shirt I was going to wear.
And then you removed your shirt.
I know. So
you're in a tank top in November.
Got a little confused in the middle, so we'll see what happens.
It's a loud ding.
Later in the show.
We got the loudest dings here on Mason and Ireland. That's Corporate Greg.
The best dings.
That is Clinton Yates. The boys, Mason and Ireland, took the day off for some reason. So let's get to it. The biggest show on the radio, your Tuesday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Polls close at 8 p.m. tonight.
That's
Be
right.
sure to get out there and vote if you haven't already. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Just vote.
It's your choice, but just
Thank you, Greg.
do it. Just vote.
Just go do it.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Chris. That's what I'm here for, to just repeat.
So, Clinton Yates, the big
Yes,
CY.
what's going on?
You're one of the more intellectual types that
Thank you.
cross our paths here.
Appreciate that.
So, on a day like today, do you get a lot of requests to be on news media from a sports angle, if that makes sense?
I will
So I remember our old friend LZ Granderson.
Yes.
Today's a busy day for him. On election days, he often wasn't here doing the show because he was getting pulled in a lot of different
I
directions.
will answer that question because the answer is yes. A lot of people do ask me based on stuff like how certain issues regard certain leagues. For example, the NBA had a big go-out-to-vote push back in 2020 in the previous general election in this country, and a lot of people like to talk about stuff like that. It's not necessarily about getting into candidate to candidate, but engagement is always something that people are interested in. And I want to say this while we're here. Being in a newsroom on election day, if you've ever worked in news, is one of the most incredible adrenaline feelings that I think I've ever been able to experience in this business. And it's hard to describe if you've never done it, but when you're watching results roll in and depending on just what you thought was going to happen, not even for your own personal, but there's nothing like it. It's like a day full of 10,000 selection Sundays. We've got the college football bowl coming out today. That feeling of being in a big-time newsroom when you're waiting for returns to come in and you're seeing what's happening here and there. Your boy Karnacki's going crazy with the khakis on. It's as cool as it gets. So I'm happy to be here today. But, yeah, some of the most interesting times of my life in this business have been sitting in different newsrooms on Election Day because there's just literally nothing like it.
So you love the fact that the NBA does not play any games today then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when they decided to make that decision,
it's a great
decision.
Was
as much about the optics as it was about the participation. Do I think everybody in the NBA is going to the ballots on Tuesday, November 5th? Probably not. No. But there's not some excuse where, let's just say your cousin is a huge NBA fan and acts like they've got their head in the sand about our civic process. You can say, hey, guess what? Your favorite team's not even playing today.
There's no game
why,
today.
Larry? Because they're actually going to the ballot box. You might want to do the same. So from that standpoint, I think it was smart for the NBA for sure.
Yeah,
Sheezy.
Yeah, I've never been in a newsroom on election night, but I was in talk radio when I first started my career outside of my father.
Similar vibe,
So I was board opping at KBC on election night 2000. I was 18 years old, and of course, obviously legendary. it was an amazing experience. And back then we had all the personalities in.
Sure.
So it was like 9 people in the studio. We're going to like ABC Network. We're going to all these switches.
Right.
And back then we used carts. We weren't digital, so just throwing carts everybody it was fun. And then I was on the night. I was working the Sunday night a couple months later at that point, where the Florida Secretary of State came out and gave the election to George W. Bush.
Right.
So working that night all night long was cool. So I can only imagine being in a newsroom on election
Very
night.
cool. I've done it at the Washington Post. I've done it at WTOP back home. But to that point, little tease, game of games today.
Is it election themed?
Might be about the theme of the day. Election
really?
Day. Yeah.
Well, a lot of our Mason Ireland listeners were there for the first election. So.
Especially when Michael and Pepe in here.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Oh, Pepe, gosh. I was thinking about it this morning.
Be nice to Pepe.
Yeah, we love
what do
Pepe.
you have against Pepe, Morales?
If I could vote to get him out of here, I would.
He's going to be here Friday. Has the game.
But here's the thing. I have voted to not have him here. So have you. And he keeps coming back.
Wow, Greg, you too?
You've been disenfranchised.
He's here when Michael is here. So that's the way we're going to put it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay, got it.
But no, yeah. So civic process, get it done. You know, it's one of those things that, for lack of a better term, makes you proud to be an American.
Absolutely right. That is right. It is what makes us proud to be an American.
There we go.
Just like listening to Greg Bergman today. Fresh off of having to run yesterday, Greg and I had to run the USC basketball program.
I heard about this.
Yeah.
Old school.
I ran the morning version against Ole Miss from Petty.
I watched that match. That was a good game.
USC women's basketball is now 1-0.
Came down to the wire.
They tried to blow
USC
it.
men's basketball blew out Chattanooga Choo-Choo.
Yeah. Is
last
it
night.
the choo-choo? I don't
think
know what it sounds better as Chattanooga choo-choo.
Can
But
you
yeah,
say it again?
The Chattanooga Choo-Choo?
I love that.
By the way, I'm going to get to Laura's Instagram here.
What?
Oh, is there something happening on our Instagram?
Nothing
You didn't see her
happened on my-
vote thing?
No, I didn't see it
yeah.
today. Oh,
They
boy.
were-
Hey, boys, go out there and vote.
One of those.
First
Did
of
you
all-
actually say, hey, boys?
No, I didn't. And I did not do the hand thing.
The hand, the hair.
The whole
the hair's
full
like
Salvador
perfect.
Gigante
full, like, you threw your
presentation.
hair
The
back.
lighting.
No. Okay, so yesterday,
You could smell the candle through the video.
my place does smell great.
You got to
okay?
go out and vote. You know what I'm saying, right, boys?
I didn't say boys. I just said,
I don't
hey,
hear the
y'all.
boo like that.
Oh, he don't care. I said, hey,
Go
y'all,
ahead.
make sure you go out and vote.
Sure.
That's all I
Engage
say.
in your civic duty.
And you know what? Apparently, I was highlighted on the voting
Well,
reel,
you did
so.
the vote thing, so you tagged it. So
So,
Instagram does
whatever.
the vote.
Oh,
Not
nice.
all of it.
Oh,
Not
very
everybody
nice.
gets
Good for you.
highlighted.
No,
Sure,
you're
you're
right.
right. That's true.
You know
Well
what I'm
played.
saying?
Well played. All right,
No, I'm
very
sure.
well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put my sticker.
All right, go vote.
I lost
boys.
mine. I'm sad that I lost my.
My
sticker.
place always runs out of stickers because I vote at night, usually right before the polls close. So my place, I last election, I volunteered there.
Yeah,
and I
was
said,
gonna
guys,
say,
can
I
we
could
order
see
some more
you-
stickers?
I could see you being a volunteer
I
at
was.
the polls guy. I could
Oh,
definitely
this
see
is a
that.
huge part
Yeah.
of Chris's world just
Sure.
in general.
That's cool.
I draw my own electoral map.
Right. Is that right?
See, I believe that.
that what your kids
I
are
think you
calling
should
it
go
these days?
home. Yeah, take a.
So here's a great
take
story.
a picture
Got
of
a
it.
little lonely last night. I had to draw my own electoral
I
college.
grew up, even though my parents were not big Reagan people, my grandparents were. So I kind of grew up in the shadow of being like an Alex P. Keaton type.
Yeah.
But obviously I was very young. My first election that I kind of paid attention to was 1992.
Okay.
I took to Ross Perot because he was that big old sucker sound. Like,
Right.
whatever.
And
Big
Danny
old
Carver's
sucking
really
town.
fun.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So a church carnival for school, I won 2 goldfish. I named it Perot, and whoever's running mate was, who I cannot remember.
I can't
at the
remember to save my life.
Right. And this was probably it was like a Halloween carnival. So a few days before the election. Election morning, I was so excited. The electoral map, I was going to go with my parents to watch them vote,
Right.
blah, 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 blah.
Fill in the stuff. Yeah.
The goldfish are floating upside down.
Oh, no.
I said to my
Just
mom,
like Perot's campaign.
I start screaming, what happened? My dad says, I'll take care of it. All of a sudden, I follow him. My bathroom was down the hall. It wasn't in my room. Their bathroom was in the room right over. And I hear the flushing. And I walked,
no.
Dad, what happened? I took care of it. Don't worry.
Wow.
And that's how we knew. That's how we knew Perot was going down that night.
The little
That's
goldfish.
awful. That is a
Damn
tough
it.
way to learn about the,
That was my
the circle
first-
of life. if you will.
Exactly. And the circle of politics.
True. Very true.
Well, I think we're learning a little bit of something about the Lakers too after their loss
That's a
last
segue.
night.
That was good.
That was well done.
Not
Well
so
done,
bad,
Greg.
right?
Not
bad at all.
Getting
Working
better
on
as
that
we're
in the
going
gym,
along.
like the left-hand layup. You know,
Exactly.
Gotta get there.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about that. Yates, Bergman, that's all coming up next.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA and you're
Hey,
out.
football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Contingency. You don't pay up front.
Uncle Artie's not just my friend, but he's your uncle in the business. Artie Pernia is a seasoned personal injury attorney who works with you, so you receive the best possible compensation for your case. Let Uncle Artie and the Pernia Law family provide peace of mind, so you can focus on your recovery.
Trust us, trust Uncle.
When you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Pernia Law, 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Park, party, and play at Hollywood Park Casino, LA's premier card room. Now open 24/7. Play no-bust blackjack, poker, and more. Enjoy Century Bar and Grill's flavorful menu for lunch or late-night dinners. Watch your favorite teams and catch up with friends on game days. Unwind and enjoy live music and crafted cocktails at Ray's Lounge. Easy parking and access, Hollywood Park Casino. Located next door to the Forum and SoFi Stadium. Park, party, and play. Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Must be 21 and older to enter. These are approved DOJ games. Geico 004527. Geico 003871.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, John Ireland here. If you're looking to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. They'll make you a cash offer, no need for repairs. They buy as is. With Seller's Advantage, there are no agents. They can close in days, and they buy with cash. They'll even offer a $10,000 advance to help with moving and other expenses. Check out their reviews online and call for a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, and visit sellersadvantage.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text CHEST to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text CHEST to 42424. That's CHEST to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
12:30 on a live imaging Tuesday on this election day. Mason in Ireland, Greg Bergman, Quinton Yates sitting in.
What up?
Laura's here, Brian's here, the home of Shpuka. Don't forget, Park Party and Play at Hollywood Park Casino. LA's premier card room, now open 24/7. Tune in all this week to the Travis and DeMarco Show, 9 to noon, to win the ultimate game day prize pack from Hollywood Park Casino. That includes this Monday's tailgate party passes at the casino and game day tickets at SoFi. Listen for your cue to call 877-710-ESPN. And don't miss your chance to win the ultimate game day prize pack. Hollywood Park Casino. Park Party and Play must be 21 and older to enter.
So the Rams have made a little small, tiny trade.
Deadline is in 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon here.
Okay.
But according to Adam Schefter, the Rams are sending cornerback Tre'Davious White and a 2027 seventh-round pick to the Ravens for a 2026 seventh-round pick, per sources.
You write that down, Brian?
Yeah, I was going to say, number one, that's like a 0.2 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, it's very, very, very small.
Big GM knows other GM type of situation. I need a guy. I'll give you a guy. That's as best as we're going to do. There's nothing blockbuster about that at all.
No blockbuster. It's really that corner. Tre'Davious White has been pretty bad since he came over to the Rams from the Bills. And so it's basically like, go get a new home. We'll get a seventh-round pick for in 2026, and we'll also give you one too. It's giving them away, saying just take him.
Yeah, gotta get somebody because that's what I mean by favor. I was going to get rid of this guy. If you'll give me a pick for him, I'll take it.
Sure, let me just get something for it. Yeah, it's just an interesting little trade. That is a Rams trade just in general. But we wanted to talk about the Lakers because last night the Lakers lost to the Detroit Pistons, and I have one person to blame for all of this, Clinton Yates. It's Michael Thompson. I don't understand, Laura, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Brian, you've heard this before. Michael Thompson, when he wants to put away a game, he doesn't care where he puts the game in the refrigerator, a la Chick Hearn.
Okay.
He'll do it in pregame. He'll do it in the first quarter. He'll do it in the second quarter. It doesn't matter. Whenever he feels like the game is over, he just says, that's it, put it in the fridge. And he did it yesterday in pregame. In pregame, before the game even started, he was talking with Mike Trudell, with Beto Duran, and with John Ireland, saying, this game's over already. I'm putting this in the fridge. There's no way that the Detroit Pistons are going to beat the Los Angeles Lakers.
What was his rationale?
Just that they were giving the game away in the previous game. It was getting really close against the Raptors. The Raptors were starting to come back, and he thought, you know what? There's no way they're going to let this team that would have no superstars on it whatsoever, unless you can count Cade Cunningham maybe a little bit. But if they have no superstars, that's it. It's over. They're winning this game.
A little high on his own supply there, as we like to say, because that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, here's the thing about the NBA this season. Because of the way that the talent has turned over, there are no teams that are head and shoulders better than others. That's just like kind of not a thing. There's the Celtics. Yeah, they're there. There's a couple other teams, and maybe the Thunder are in that group as well. In terms
Thunder
of saying the talent on their roster makes them immediately better to the point that winning any given game on any given night is not a thing. Every other team in the league, you could say, could lose a game to anybody else on any given night, particularly the Lakers who, kind of depend on different things. I mean, listen, I get what Michael's saying. He'd like to believe that a team like the Pistons, for whatever reason, even though they're at home and the Lakers hadn't won anything on the road yet, for whatever reason would just be outmatched. But I think if we're being real about who this team is right now, that was never going to be true. And it doesn't need to be true for the Lakers to be successful.
No, and I think that this Pistons team is not the same Pistons team that we've been seeing that's the bottom of the barrel every single year.
When's the last time the Lakers actually played the Pistons? Meaning, when's the last time Michael saw the Pistons with his eyeballs is my actual question here.
Last year at some point. I don't know when they played them last year. At some point they did. But no matter what, like Cade Cunningham is having a much, much better year. I think this is his 4th or 5th year now, and all of his numbers are starting to go up. He is a good player. Jalen Duren is actually a serviceable big man, not their normal big man, but he is a serviceable big man. I mean, the way that they're all starting to come together, they're going to be a better team than what Michael Thompson is making it out to be. The record isn't saying it right now, but no matter what, any team can beat the Lakers, and that's kind of where I want to go with this.
Right.
It's like, is this Lakers team? They started off 3-0. And they beat some good teams in Minnesota. They had a couple good wins at the very beginning. Now they're 4-3. Like, was there a little bit of false sense of security of what this team actually is?
No, I think that until you've played, I don't want to say every team, but you've played at least half of the league, it's hard to really say that you know what you're dealing with. Sidebar from what my research is, the Lakers played the Pistons on November 29th, 1923, and they blew them out by 30 points. And that was when the Pistons were in the middle of that 15-game losing streak.
Oh, yeah,
so if Michael still got that on his mind, you're right. These are not your father's Pistons.
They also played February 13th, 2024.
What was that game?
We won 125, 111.
Okay, all right. But what I'm saying is last year's Pistons, they had 2 wins by the time that team played. Long story short is, here's what I'm saying. The Lakers don't need to be worried about what they look like to other people. The Lakers are still, with J.J. Redick as the coach, a guy who was decided that he knows how and why and when to route that offense through Anthony Davis. They need to worry about how they feel. I would go so far as to say to themselves. Are you gaining confidence in certain bench players? Do you feel as a first-year coach, let us not forget this with J.J. Redick, that you're rotations you feel confident in against different styles of play? I could not possibly honestly care less about the win-loss record of the Lakers. What I care about is culture, which we've seen has already changed.
Sure.
Results are one thing, and results don't just mean wins or losses. Results mean, are you getting into your sets the way that you wanted to? Are you hitting your in-game goals in terms of rebounding, on the glass, turnovers, all of that? Are you cleaning things up as you need to? Wins and losses will come. And this, to me, was another one of those losses that will come. But the team didn't look absolutely horrible. And again, the Pistons are not hot garbage. Not at all.
No, they're not hot garbage. But at the same time, they didn't look all that great. I think you have certain guys that do look good. Like AD has looked good from the very beginning of the year. He's still looking good, and he kind of hurt his ankle a little bit.
Yeah,
so that's
that was
something.
Not great.
We'll get into that in a little bit. But LeBron looks fine. He still looks like who he is. He's going to be about to be 40 years old. For the most part, the starters look pretty good outside D'Angelo Russell. It goes into the bench. They have basically, at this point, No bench.
No.
And the rotation that you're talking about, I get it. J.J. Redick, he's kind of moving around. He doesn't have Jared Vanderbilt, and doesn't look like Vanderbilt's going to come back anytime soon. And because you don't know exactly who you want to play, there's this mix between Cam Reddish and Max Christie, and who do they want to play. So the bench just looks bad at this point.
Well,
and every time AD is off the floor, the team tanks.
Bench players are bench players for a reason. It's because on the road,
They gotta
they're
give you
not as
something,
good.
though.
On the road, they're not as good as they are at home. That is literally the reason why you are a bench player, because that is typically the difference in the NBA in terms of what you bring from a starter versus non-starter position. Look, they lost the game. I also think that there's a thing that happens, and I don't know if this is necessarily just this franchise. There's a couple of franchises like this, though, where dominance seems to be a more important thing than actual cohesiveness. And I hope that J.J. Redick, from a basketball standpoint, doesn't fall into that trap of believing, well, here's how it has to happen because this is the script that we've written and this is what we just kind of think is what it should look like, as opposed to, in fact, now that I've gotten my hands on a couple players, so to speak, here's how we're going to win games. So that's where the perception thing, I don't exactly take with no grains of salt, but I look at that as, again, if JJ is looking at this team and says, you know what, I can figure something out. It might not look like what, whoever thinks it should look like down at Crypto, but I know it's the best usage of my guys. I'm more confident in JJ, frankly, to do that than I was anybody in the last 2 seasons.
Oh, 100%. Look, J.J. Redick is already making a massive difference into this team. The fact that they're 4-3 and have a winning record through 7 games is pretty remarkable for the fact that they have not done that for the last few years. I remember I think it was 2 years ago. They couldn't win any game. They started off 0 something or other, but that's just the way that this team has kind of lean. I love the way that J.J. Redick is coaching this team. I love the way that he's kind of embodying himself with this team, and they trust him. You can see that AD trusts him. LeBron trusts him. They are connected in that sense. It's just him trying to figure out what pieces go where and at what time. So that's going to take time, and that's going to come.
I think that there were understandable concerns about, is LeBron too close to JJ on a personal level for this to be able to work in terms of the chain of command? You throw in Bronny in the mix, which is kind of unfair, but like the idea being that if you have a friend as the head coach, are you capable of maintaining the necessary, again, chain of command in order for the rest of the team to buy in? And what seems clear to me is that, in fact, there has been a little bit of the opposite, which is that it probably wasn't going to work at all if LeBron wasn't very close to the head coach at this particular stage of his career. Now, I'm pushing Bronny to the side because that seems like it's part and parcel with it because of all the things that have happened. But what I'm saying is that trust you're talking about, if it's going to stem from LeBron out, and the relationship between the coach and LeBron has to be that important, there's no time for new people. This guy's been in the league too long to be trying to, date new women, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got to go to somebody that he already knows because that's where he can feel like he's not wasting his time trying to implement this on the teammates. So in that regard, I will say I had that backwards in terms of how I thought that might work with the team. JJ being there and being that close to LeBron, in my opinion, has been a bonus and not a risk for how the rest of that roster has gotten in line.
Yeah, and he has it with everybody else. He's the right guy. I really do feel like JJ is going to be the right guy for the LeBron era and the post-LeBron era.
Sure,
that's coming
that's
up.
That's what you wanted,
right?
Yeah.
You want it. He's going to be a guy that can actually help guys like Dalton connect, and hopefully Max Christie, because Christie has not looked good so far, but hopefully that all starts to come into play. I do think that he's going to be the right guy for all of it, all the way through. But you're right. You have to have a guy that LeBron will, if he's going to be here, and he's going to be here for another couple of years, then you have to have somebody that he trusts and wants to play for. I think that's the way that it happened even in Cleveland. I know they probably weren't best buddies, but the fact that Ty Lue, he had the respect of LeBron, that
hugely
matters.
Helpful. That's why they went so far. That's why they beat what some people think is the best team in the history of the NBA, even if they didn't win that year. And look, my other last thing about this quickly is, again, it is entirely possible that the talent pool of the Lakers is just not as high as many other teams in the league. And that's just something that once you get 10, 15, 20 games in, you get to about a quarter to 25% of the season, you've got to start looking at things a little differently. So we're still determining that as far as what our baseline is how good are they? Never mind whether or not they're going to do it all at the same time in terms of injuries. Never mind if they're all going to score double digits in one particular game. But just baseline, how good is this team? You've got to play a couple weeks before you really figure that out, and they haven't done that yet.
Sure, it's way too early to really have an idea of what this team is actually going to be. But the fact is, so far, from what we've seen, the starters are good enough to win games. The starters are an excellent group that you can.
I would say the October grade is an A-.
A-, sure.
Yeah, for the month.
And you realize now that the bench is just not good enough. They're going to have to do something about the bench unless somebody decides to step up a little bit. Gabe Vincent is a net zero right now.
Sure.
When AD leaves the floor, like I said a little bit earlier, they fall apart. They go on. The other team goes on runs. Without AD on the floor, he obviously can't play the entire time. But the fact is, whenever he's off the floor, it all starts to go to hell.
I still do think that bench players are best gauged in terms of what they can contribute at home, because on the road, you know there's going to be a drop off. Now you might need him there more.
You got to win on the road
too. That's part of the reason why. Well, you go 500 on the road. That's the thing. How is the formula to this team getting to where they want to be? And that's the question: is that do you necessarily feel that the road is where you're going to be best in terms of where you're going to maximize your wins? It's an interesting question. But if the bench can't perform away from crypto, then maybe that's just not something you worry about and you rely on your stars when you're there. That's where JJ's going to have some figuring out to do as to what is actually the best combination of things to get this team to where they want to be.
And if somebody's going to figure it out, I really do think that JJ going into analytics, really going to where to put the best players in the best situations, I think he's going to do that.
His confidence is there too. It's a different thing than Darvin. I felt like Darvin walked into the room and was trying to prove something that wasn't really real, whereas JJ didn't have to do that. He said, this is what I want to do. We're going to try to succeed, because he's just a generally more confident person.
Well, Darvin Ham, they're two totally different types of guy. He's a go with the flow, just kind of hang out and put his hands in his pockets and be like,
but that's
all
not
right.
how it started, is what I'm saying. When he got to the first press conference, he was very much acting as if I'm sustaining something that's been great. JJ was like, no, that's not what's happening. This is clearly in need of change, and I can be the guy. There were different mindsets.
Yeah, totally different mindsets. I really trust in JJ Redick, though. All right, so we got to get into you, Clinton, had to buy a TV.
I did have to buy a TV.
And, so I want to hear a little bit about what happened there. And also, Wheel of Questions, Yates, Bergman. It's all coming up next.
Nice.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
My knees are sore.
Yeah.
When my knees get sore, I get salty. So I apologize if I am salty. This is why I wound up on TMZ in Dallas, because it was cold, my knees were sore,
hurt.
and some dude said, move your blanket car, and I snapped, and next thing you know, I'm on TMZ.
It's Trav and D-Farr.
Back tomorrow morning after Greeny on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Cappy here, and I want to talk about my friend Avner Gatt, a public adjuster. Now, many of you guys have asked me, why Avner Gatt? What makes his team so unique at handling insurance claims? So let me tell you something. I've been working with Avner and his team for a while. I can tell you this. Avner Gatt has a dynamic team that's highly effective and successful because these folks come from a very diverse background in the insurance industry. For example, some of them used to work for insurance companies before they joined Avner's team. Yes, they actually chose to switch sides when they realized the effectiveness of Avner's team's work. Some of them used to be in the restoration business, rebuilding homes after disasters. Some of them used to be in the contents handling business, moving homeowners' belongings to a safe place for restoration and storage. Some of them were experts in hazardous materials handling, like asbestos and lead testing. That was their daily work. And some of them were members of law firms handling bad faith claims and general business disputes. You see, diversification is the name of the game. When you are represented by Avner Gatt's team, you have the entire team's experience and know-how by your side. No one, and I mean no one, messes with Avner Gatt and his team. So call Avner Gatt right now, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. That's AvnerGatt.com, AVNERGAT, AvnerGatt.com. When you call him directly, Avner Gatt and his family, they take the calls themselves. Avner Gatt says, hello.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
12:47 on a live imaging Tuesday on the Mason and Ireland extravaganza.
A tank top Tuesday as well.
Tank top Tuesday.
Jagged Edge. You know some Jagged
Clinton
Edge?
Yates, Greg Berman. Now, Laura and I agreed because Ireland's not here that we would do like one yacht rock, and then she said she wanted to do one Ratchet song.
This is not Ratchet, though.
But you said, did you not say Ratchet?
Yeah, but this is not Ratchet.
It's shocking that you would want to do the Ratchet song.
I was saying, this is not Ratchet.
No. This is like, wedding music right at this point.
At this
yeah,
point,
it is.
This is 90s. It's like late 90s.
Many
with
Mason Ireland
112.
loyal listeners are locking their cars now as they hear this.
I mean, whatever. I was listening to this
can
on
you
the way
actually hear
here.
the
On
windows
their way
going
to
up?
the polls, they're locking
Yeah, exactly.
their cars.
They're taking their teeth out.
You're welcome.
And locking it down.
Let me put... Never mind.
I remember when this show was good. When Dave Singer produced it. That's not a knock at you.
No,
that
it
was
is.
a knock at
No,
Greg.
no.
It was a knock.
It's
It was a
funny
knock at me.
Because I...
Just because I
get
won't go
mixed
into a car wash and get killed by a car wash. Sorry, that's not something
We
I'm
used to
gonna
get the Sports by Brooks girls on.
Yeah,
what were you saying?
No, I was because I get mixed messages. Some people are like, "Oh, we love that you're on." Other people are like, "Oh, and I'm like, listen."
I mean, I think that's everybody
Whatever.
at this
Yeah,
point.
I
at the
get,
station.
I get no
Like,
messages.
Oh, my
Well, you
thing
block
is-
everybody.
Nah, just ignore
No,
them.
I
It's
don't.
easier.
But my thing is, I'm like, listen, I like what I like. Like, I'm not gonna
Right.
fake the funk. You know what I'm saying?
Good
like,
policy.
just
No,
Good
you already,
You
got,
shouldn't.
you already got Mace on this show. What happened with you and the TV?
So, I had the weird situation. As we know, as television Clinton, yes, I watched a lot of
Yes,
television.
television's good.
As you should.
But I also have liked television for a long time. So I've owned a lot of televisions in my life. And, back in the CRT days, for those of you who don't know what that is, look it up. It's a certain type of TV. It's the old tube TV. You could see a
I don't know
TV
what
die
CRT is.
in front of you. You don't know what a CRT TV is?
No, I'm looking it up right now.
Like
So I
you don't
know what that
remember
is.
the like
You don't know
the
the term?
TVs our parents had.
Yeah, those are
Like if
basically
you had like a 36-inch
tube
Oh,
TVs.
okay.
Yeah,
That's all right. That's just a
called
regular,
CRT
like the
'cause-
Zenith.
Yeah, but that's a name brand. CRT is the type. Anyway, you could see those die because the bulb would flicker or something would go wrong inside of the television, and when you were watching it, the image would collapse on you, and you're like, okay, well, my TV's dead. Nowadays, with all the ways that TVs are made, you don't see that often. No, very rarely it'll just not cut on. It's not like it'll be click.
The red light will just blink, blink,
Bro,
blink.
I saw my television die. We're talking like a 2020 Sony TV. I clicked it on. It did this collapsing picture thing. And I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen that period in like 20 years with my own eyes. I turned it on again. It kind of popped out, closed again, boom, red light. And I was like,
It is a final.
exactly. That is
But here's the good thing.
Literally
That
what
TV probably
happened.
cost you what, $1,000
Maybe
at most.
$1,000, right?
So
And
you go get another one.
This is exactly where we were at, and I was like, "Oh man, I can't believe!" Like, I might have considered taking it somewhere for somebody to look at it. If I had,
No.
listen, if I hadn't literally seen its death,
Right.
old school style. This wasn't, whatever. I'm not going to get any weird
brand
analogies,
was it?
but it was a Sony.
Oh.
And so, listen, planned
you go to, like, a Best
obsolescence.
Buy?
Planned obsolescence is the thing for televisions these days. So I just thought, okay, I'm in the market for a TV. So I asked all my boys. we can get to Wheeler questions. And I wasn't sure. I was like, man, I haven't really paid attention to the last TV I bought. I'm like, 60 megahertz on 120. Is this really going to matter to me? No. Went on
Isn't it
Costco.
like 240 now?
Went on Costco. Right. And I was like, nobody cares. Went on Costco, $500. Got that bad boy
Yeah.
that day.
Nowadays, unless you're going
everything.
Unless you're getting like the 90-inch mirror audio setup for your theater at home,
Which
you
I'm
should,
not.
Yeah,
you should not spend more than $500.
No, and 60 hertz is fine, y'all. You do not need 120. It's not that big
I think
of a
you need
deal.
240. Like Brian has 240 because he watches performances, and you got the
Performances?
Great.
What performances
I don't
are we
need to know how
talking
far
about?
that goes. And that hand movement while you said performances was a little awkward. But I get what you're saying. Here's the point that
That hair
matters.
flows
though.
quickly.
Here's the
His
point
hair
that
flows
matters.
quickly.
I had to put this thing together, and I was worried. I had blocked off like an hour. I'm going to have to unscrew some stuff.
You're
Big.
gonna have to unscrew,
bro.
It's a TV.
I know,
Well, he has
but
to mount it.
You got to mount or
That gets back to the Brian thing.
Come on now. Come on.
They've made it
Allison's
so easy
listening.
now. They have plug-and-play brackets even for 70-inch TVs.
just put it on. Yeah.
Snap it in the back, block eye. It
Yep.
took 5 minutes. Yes, I was so
Oh, yeah.
excited. So that was an easy fix. But I saw a television die, old man style, like a Western shootout right there in front of the OK Corral. It was tough, but, we got a new one. We're all right. Samsung shouts.
There's your Clinton Yates TV moment. Meanwhile, it is time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, a man who likes to be on videotape. Spin that wheel, please.
Brian, keep it together.
Try not to laugh too hard.
I like people that laugh at my material.
All right. Well, this has nothing to do with TVs or Brian and his home videos or lack thereof. But we did see Kike Hernandez being at Raising Cane's yesterday. We also knew, if you guys didn't know, Walker Buehler was at Dick's and Cerritos, and Mookie Betts will be in Glendale at the Dick's there signing autographs for about an hour. My question is to you guys, if you were an athlete and can visit any restaurant or any shop like Dick's or anything else, which one would you go to? Like, what would be your place you would want to go plop so people could see you?
So I would be like handing out food
Yeah,
at
like
a
handing
drive-through
out
window.
food, or
Yeah.
like Mookie, he's going to be at Dick's
At
Sporting
Dick's
Goods.
Sporting, yeah. In and out. I mean, I think that's simple. You just go to In and Out and have the massive lines consistently. I think In and Out's probably the best place to go there.
I
No?
didn't even think about that.
I don't know. I'm not doing it. I don't want to wear that goofy outfit. I go to
I mean,
Dick's.
I'd love to wear that
mainly
goofy
because-
outfit.
Mainly because it's climate controlled. That's a big part of this. Sitting behind a fryer at Raising Cane's, absolutely not.
You
when
can
there's
go
a
in your
million
tank top.
people there to see me, I could do that. But at Dick's, you're going to or first of all, you're also definitely going to get other athletes, most likely. You get to meet the young players. You get to impart a little knowledge, have a little mini, I don't know, not exactly camp, but, one of those things. You do a couple drills and stuff like that. It would be Dick's for me 100%. Air conditioned, inside, non-problem.
I miss Fry's Electronics. Remember Fry's?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fry's was great.
That one in
Just
Burbank
rows
is
and
awesome.
rows
with
and
the
rows
daggone
of stuff.
spaceship out front. Oh,
I would have done it at a Fry's.
Yeah, that's a good call. Fry's has all that old school stuff in there too. Like you can shoot a horror movie in one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Any type of connection you need, Fry's had it. Any
Yeah.
type of wire,
That's true.
Fry's had it.
It was
Radio,
great.
like a bootleg Radio Shack.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I
That
was a
definitely
much
pick Dick's.
bigger-
You get-
bigger
You can
Radio
have
Shack.
fun in there. You can play sports.
What about you, Bry? Because I know you had one.
Probably one of these little mom and pop collectible sports shops that you see absolutely nobody in. And every time
yeah.
I go into one,
Oh,
it's
to
like
help them out a
like
little
those
bit. I
ones
like
Travis
that.
goes
in
to
a
all
little
the time.
random mall,
Not bad.
Good spot.
Aw,
Laura?
that's actually
What do you do?
really
You go in there
sweet.
and buy Pogs? What do you do?
Hey,
Remember the Slammers? I had so many Pogs.
I don't know if I had Slammers. I had Pogs.
Well, yeah, but you had to hit the Pogs. You had to use the Slammer. They were
I
the
don't remember
bigger,
the
thicker
Slammer.
one. Yeah.
I don't remember the Slammer.
Slammer.
You don't remember Slammer?
I don't.
That was
I don't
like
know
the
how many
thing.
times I actually played it.
Right.
I just collected
You
it.
just remembered having
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
You didn't
I was a
remember
little-
those?
Remember
I
that
was a little
tube?
too old for that.
Yeah,
I
the
was-
big old
I was a
tube
little
you
too old
used
and a little
to
too cool for Pogs at that point in my life. So
I mean, I was born in 88, bruh.
yeah, I mean, I'm born in 81, so like Pogs would have
For
been
like
around
2 years.
years.
Yeah,
Right.
those are a critical
That
2
is true.
years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
those
my-
are the 2 years in which I didn't see, I don't know, Mighty Ducks or insert whatever. Because I
You
was
didn't see
doing,
Mighty Ducks?
No,
Because
come on.
Pogs was about.
I was doing
Pogs
other
was
things.
like
you know what I'm
94,
saying?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably right
Wu-Tang
around
was
there.
out by then. Mighty Ducks was long gone. You know what I mean?
Dude, I
in
was
the rear
in
view
it.
mirror, right? So.
Mine would be has nothing to do really with sports, but I love Tower Records.
No,
Tower's
Tower
a good
Records.
Like
call.
if that was still like around.
Tower back in the day used to sell all the cool like art and graffiti magazines. That's
Yeah.
why like everybody used to hang out there because they had all the dope magazines. Never mind the music. That Tower was awesome.
Hey, what time is Mookie going to Glendale and where?
So
and day?
it's gonna be mañana. So
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, yes, and he's gonna be signing autographs. Let me get the from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., 200 West Broadway. In Glendale.
Have you seen the documentary about Tower Records?
No.
So Tom Hanks' son,
I saw
not,
Empire
not
Records.
Chet Hayes, the other one who actually looks like Tom. He made a documentary called All Things Must Pass, and it's about how Tower Records began and how it grew and all the things that happened.
cool.
It's really
That's pretty
actually
cool.
good, and it's an interesting story also about how like California music culture changed over the course of those decades. You should check that out. You would really like that, Morales.
Yeah, I would.
It's really good. And the guy, basically the main owner, he talks about how he used to have a bunch of ties in his office that were cut off at the thing because he would literally get people in his office and cut off his ties and say, that's not how we do business.
I like that.
That's not bad. So Tower Records,
Aggressive.
you go into Tower Records, if I remember correctly, and you could actually go up against the wall and just listen to music, put on
They had some
headset,
had listening stations.
listening stations all over
But
the place,
the big
right?
deal about it was that this guy would basically start a store, and then the coolest person at the store would get to manage the store, and then he'd say, all right, we're going somewhere else. You can build the new store and bring all your friends and build it in your likeness. That's why they were all sort of unique, and they all kind of had their own flavor. It's because the dude literally just trusted people that he trusted, and that's how he built his brand.
Interesting business model. I mean,
No,
if
it's
it
really
works.
good. The one in Sherman Oaks
until
that
it
they built at the Galleria in the early 2000s, and then it was moved,
Right.
it was gone quickly. But it was 2 levels. They really doubled down on video when DVDs hit.
Okay.
So they had a great DVD selection.
Nice.
And here's the thing. When we look back, you hear about Blockbuster, you hear about Tower Records, all these companies that were huge that were behind on technology. They obviously didn't adapt. They heard it coming, and they didn't do anything about
Nope.
it. But when you read that stuff or you think about that stuff, how would they have adapted? Right. How would Tower Records have led the MP3 charge? How would Blockbuster? Now, Blockbuster could have bought Netflix.
Sure.
They had that opportunity, much like Yahoo could have bought Facebook, Google.
Right, they could have
They
all
whiffed on
bought
all
everybody,
those.
yeah.
But you think about it, like them trying to tie the retail to the technology just changing. I don't think they would have been possible.
It was never going to work. And so
No.
that's why you see places like Suncoast now that are literally just nostalgia stores.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's because they're selling
Pretty much.
things that you can actually pick up and take, which is not a bad business model now.
No.
It just needed a 25-year
Yeah,
gap
exactly.
for an entire generation to decide, oh, right, we forgot how much we like this.
The other one was, what was it, FYE, I think. That
Yeah,
had-
Yeah,
for your
FYE, yeah.
entertainment.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
exactly.
Cool. Amoeba? I
Amoeba music, yeah,
love
that's
it.
still
Came back.
around too.
I know it came back because all
It,
the
all,
vinyl
it
and
almost
stuff.
got shut down.
It
but
did,
it's, but it's alive now.
But no, all
You know,
things
Pepe
must
goes to
pass. Check
Amoeba
it
a
out.
lot. He does.
No, he does because he actually gets records.
Yeah,
like
I
old
love
school
vinyl.
records.
I went to the Amoeba in San Fran. But yes, check out All Things Must Pass. It's from 2015. That movie. It's a good one.
Not bad. Not
Tom
bad.
Hanks' son is in it.
All
yeah.
things must pass. The Mason and Ireland.
Right, basically.
That's just in a couple years.
Whoa!
Couple years.
Whoa, I didn't
couple
say that.
years.
I didn't
That's
say that,
hey,
sucker.
years is years.
You said couple. That's
That's
dos.
a couple.
So that means two.
You know, whatever. It's up to them. They stay till as long as they want to stay. All right, we got sports graffiti. Yates, Bergman. It's coming up next.
710 ESPN, the destination for LA
Park Party Play at
sports.
Hollywood Park Casino. Listen to Travis and DeMarco to win the ultimate game day prize pack. VIP tailgate passes plus game day tickets. Listen to your cue to call and don't miss your chance to win the ultimate game day experience. Park Party Play with me at Hollywood Park Casino. Must be 21 and older to enter.
The all-new ESPN LA app, your destination for LA sports.
Hey, John Ireland here. Are you going through a life change? Whether you're downsizing, inheriting a home, or ready for a change, Seller's Advantage is here to make selling your home easy. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs, no hassle. With Seller's Advantage, you're in control. Close as quickly as you want and do it on your own terms. Check out their reviews online and call for a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. That's 888-390-2747 or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people would mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Hey guys, it's Cappy. You've heard me talk about my personal situation with my divorce and subsequent custody battle in the past, and I know that you need a team behind you to get the justice you deserve. My friend Mark Reel and his team at Real Fathers Rights are here to help you guys. Visit realfathersrights.com/710. That's REEL, realfathersrights.com/710, or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights, the Father's Rights Attorneys.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
Is this Ratchet? No, I know. But we like to set up a different song, Brian. He's thinking about his next video shoot. 2 minutes after 1 o'clock on a live imaging Tuesday on this election day. Go out to vote. Polls close at 8 o'clock. Get your sticker, sucker. On Mason, Ireland, Bergman, and Yates sitting in for the boys. It is time for Sports Graffiti. I don't know who's going. Just take it away.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. But also, it's 877-710-3776.
No, 710 ESPN.
710. See, I like doing both. I know you.
I do both. But you got to do both without enough break in the middle so that you can't get chopped like that.
Yeah, I was trying. I chopped him. He did chop me. I had it going straight through. 877-710-3776. 877-710 ESPN. If you want to get in on Sports Graffiti. Josh, what's going on? Josh, how are you?
Hey guys, what up? What up? Hey, I tried to call in on Friday, and I wanted to wish Fernando Valenzuela a happy belated birthday. It's fitting with the parade and everything. But really quick, before I ask you this question, Bergman, CY, do you remember the movie Empire Records that came out in '95?
Love that movie.
Yeah, I remember it.
That's a cult classic.
It is a
I was
cult
thinking about that when you're talking about Tower Records. But hey, Bergy, I wanted to ask about the Dodgers. So you have Yamamoto and you have Shohei that could be ambassadors to Japan. Who's looking more to, recruiting Japanese players? Do Japanese players want to come play over here, or are the Dodgers looking over there? Like, is there a next Ichiro out there in Japan that somehow those two could bring it over here to the Dodgers?
So the biggest name that's out there right now is Roki Sasaki. He's a pitcher, and so he's either 22 or 23 right now. If you come over to America from Japan, you have to be, if you're 25 years old, you be posted, and then you get paid. The team gets paid. Roki Sasaki is 22 or 23, and he is going to be posted. It seems like that's what's being reported by Kylie McDaniel, that he's going to be posted, and he cannot sign a major league contract. This is the same way that happened with Shohei, Clinton. If you remember, when Shohei signed, he signed a minor league deal with the Angels. This is what Roki's going to do if he is posted. And also, I'm pretty sure his team does not get any money from that. So it could be very, very difficult because it's all through Roki Sasaki what he wants to do. But he's supposed to be a pitcher that's going to go once every 6-7 days, kind of like Yamamoto. So that's the biggest name that's out there right now.
And also, to your point, I mean, you can only have, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, don't isolate this, but this is a matter of actual man management. You can only have so many Japanese pitchers on your staff because of what you're talking about, the actual days of rest that they can pitch on. If you've got 3 guys that are on 7 days, 5, 6, 7 days rest, that's going to screw up your rotation to the point that you're going to have too many starters. So I'm not saying you don't get a talent. I'm saying that you've got to that is a different type of man management than I think most teams deal with. But, the Dodgers know what they're doing. I'm just saying that presents newer challenges if you're going to say, hey, not only do we need to acclimate somebody, but we've got 2 different guys on 5 days rest, especially in the playoffs. That becomes a tricky thing to deal with.
It becomes very tricky. And we'll get back to more calls in just a second, but that actually kind of leans more towards what the Dodgers want to do because they have guys that are coming off 2 Tommy Johns. If you bring back Walker Buehler, Dustin May is coming off the 2 Tommy Johns. Tony Gonsolin is coming off hurt. Tyler Glasnow pitched more than he's ever pitched last year and got hurt and didn't even pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the teams that they have, the guys that they have on the pitching staff, actually kind of lend to that 5 days off.
That's assuming they're all going to be able to play and that's all going to work. I mean, I get
they
that.
have 9 guys as of right now. If you bring in Sasaki, that's 10 guys.
I don't think that's a good thing anyway, is what I'm getting at.
No,
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
disagree with you, but if any team can handle that, the Dodgers are the one that can handle
those guys
that.
can get back onto the field is the number one concern for me, for sure.
David, what's going on, David?
So we see that the Rams pulled the plug on the Trey White attempt, and we traded him for a 7th. I've seen a lot of corners get burned on the Rams who are all pros in the last 5-7 years. I'm wondering, is it the Rams system that maybe is causing these corners to fail, or do you think possibly we just saw the end of Trey White's prime with all the injuries?
So I feel like it's a Chris Shula thing. So Chris Shula is now his first year as the DC, and that if this has been something that's been going on for a while, and you're seeing guys consistently leave that DC position to go get jobs elsewhere. Like it was who's the guy in San Diego? I'm blanking on his name right now. He sucked.
Brandon Staley.
Yeah, Brandon Staley. He was terrible, but he was great here. Raheem Morris just got a job with the Falcons. So you're constantly moving things over, so the system is consistently changing.
I would also say that the cornerback position is the biggest pass-fail position in the league.
Yep.
Like, people look at it and say, oh, you're either a bum or you're really good. Nobody really has a very good clue, I think from the average fan standpoint, of an average to above average cornerback who's not making a ton of picks. They don't really look at that and say, oh, man, that guy really seals off his quarters well, or he's great in third. Like, no. People don't do that. People look at the cornerback and say, I saw somebody catch a touchdown over your head. I saw somebody run right by you.
Right.
You got to go. So I do think there's an element of that. I'm not saying that's a bad call. I'm just saying that from the basic optics standpoint, it's easy to look at a corner and say, that guy's a bum.
Yeah, and also the Rams also had injuries at the cornerback position to start the year, and a lot of them. Now Darius Williams is back. Kobe Durant is a young guy. I think he's in his second year, but he's playing well at that other corner position. They have guys, they brought back Witherspoon, but for the most part, yeah, it's not the highest end position that the Rams have, but they're playing. Actually, the defense has been pretty good for the most part,
right?
Especially recently. All right, we got Mitch. Mitch, what's going on, buddy?
How you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call. Glad to hear that Lincoln Riley is a bit of a deer in headlights has named Maeva
Jaden Maeva,
quarterback 2 weeks in Nebraska. They got 6 good wide receivers who I think he'd be playing on Sundays. Now they have a quarterback that can actually run if the pass protection breaks down, which it seems to do quite a bit at times. Happy for that rule, that change.
Yeah, it was something that thank you very much, Mitch, but that's something that they had to do. And Chris, you know very much that this team needed to change at quarterback. And this is the right time to do it, too. When you're going into a bye week.
They need to change at head coach.
well, that's not happening, and you know it. But the fact is you're going into a bye week, and you're going to have 2 weeks with Maeva as the quarterback, kind of get him set up for Nebraska.
Change everything?
No, I don't at all. And I think that's a problem for USC just in general.
They need to win 2 out of 3 to be bowl eligible. That's a push at this point. That's asking a lot based on how this team has performed. Nebraska, they should beat, although UCLA did well with Nebraska.
Yeah. Nebraska came in as a good team.
UCLA,
they've lost 3 in a row.
Flat out better football team right now than USC is.
They are.
I agree, but I still think USC is going to beat them at home. But beating UCLA and Notre Dame, I don't see that happening.
That's not happening.
Not at this moment. So to win 2 out of 3, I don't see that happening.
The problem is that the brand of football they play, I don't think is that much altered by who the quarterback is necessarily. Sure, you might get a couple more opportunities down the field. Sure, you might get a couple more possessions, but they throw the ball so much that any young player is going to probably turn that ball over more than they like, considering how much that they're not using time of possession to their advantage. I think that there is a structural issue with how Lincoln Riley approaches the game from his personnel standpoint. Just got the ball. They move too quickly on offense. Their defenses are always gassed. That's just the risk you take when Lincoln Riley is there. And I don't know that the quarterback is going to change much more than their ability to simply hold on to the ball.
I think the quarterback situation is interesting because, yes, Miller Moss was the guy. Yeah. That was the guy that they want. I keep going to Mason Miller because the pitcher in Oakland. Or
Mason,
I guess they're not Oakland A's. They're the Athletics now. They got rid of the name Oakland, which is weird. But either way, Miller Moss was because he threw those 6 touchdown passes in the bowl game. That Mason, before the season started, said that Lincoln Riley was going believed in Miller Moss. He didn't want to go out and get anybody else. He didn't want to go get Dylan Gabriel. He believed in Miller Moss. That says a lot about just Lincoln Riley in general, that he didn't think to go, hey, we need a big-time quarterback.
Well, he's at his time at USC, he's thrown quite a many people under the bus for his performance.
So if you had a trained eye, you'd know. Yeah. You'd be able to see. I was in the room when he said that, by the way. It was the press conference. I laughed and left. That's how ridiculous it was.
He made the fatal mistake that Darvin Ham made last year when Darvin Ham made light of needing to win. We make too much of you guys are making a big deal over nothing. You can't do that in this market, and especially with USC, based on the amount of money they have invested into Lincoln Riley, the practice facility, all these things built around Lincoln. You can't get up there and go, you guys are making too much of a deal of this. You can't do that with USC and the boosters and the team and just the fans. So he really needs to win 3 out. He needs to win all 3 to try to turn it around where at least then his spin can be, I saw it. I changed the quarterbacks. We finished strong. Here we go. Let's get into a bowl. We'll play in the Holiday Bowl or whatever. We'll win. And
Holiday Bowl's too big of a bowl.
I would argue you've got to win a bowl game on top of that to show that you had the discipline from the end of the regular season to keep your program together and everybody didn't jump ship. That's a real thing that happens in college programs now, is that you hit a bowl, and if the kids think, well, this bowl stinks, I don't want to go to Mobile, Alabama, to the GMAC Bowl or the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, I'm gone. And then you got 30 guys total to play a bowl game. This happens all the time. So for me, winning out is one thing. Getting to a bowl is another. Winning one is a third that would show some level of continuity for what Riley is trying to do, which is at this point, it just doesn't seem like it's really stuck outside of Caleb Williams, dazzling the country.
Yeah, I don't feel like I don't know if I agree with the winning the bowl game portion of it, because you're going to lose those guys like you're saying. Like Zachariah Branch is like, I'm not going to get myself hurt in this game.
I don't mean that. I mean in terms of leaving the school. I don't mean in not playing the game. The point is that if you win 3, you've established enough of a culture where you think that people are going to want to hang around and be there. If you end up doing all of that and then you proceed to get blown out by, I don't know, Army, that doesn't look good.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And that's entirely possible, because to Chris's point, it's not just about not winning. It's about not winning in the 2020s of college football, when any small measure of success is an option. Give me a conference. Give me a bowl game. Anybody. Hell, Colorado has a slight electoral path to victory to the playoff at this point. So many teams seem to be in the mix. If the Trojans aren't, that's a tough look.
All I know is that as a UCLA fan, we thought that this team was absolutely horrendous, and they were only going to win 3 games. They've won their 3 games. At this point in time, we're 9 games into the season, 9 games through. We're going to week 10. Is that right?
Yeah.
So at this point in time, UCLA is higher in the Big Ten than USC. That all by itself is a problem for USC.
Yeah.
That should never, ever happen, especially when a rebuilding team, when Deshaun Foster looks like the better head coach than Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
and that's really saying something.
More prepared week in and week out. That's
and
my
getting
issue.
His guys to believe.
That's my issue with Riley, is that it's the same game plan every week.
Right,
that's everything the same, and it's the script is the same. And now listen, I was high on them when they beat LSU as well. They seem to be able to hit a couple people in the mouth. Yeah. They seem to be able to play football. Now it's guess what?
Big guys.
We're going to throw the ball 5 times. We might get a little bit run. We're going to run the same run play for 4 quarters, and then at the end when it gets blown up, shocker, they all knew it was coming. It's a tough look for a guy who was supposed to be a mastermind. On top
and you don't want to lose, but when you're losing the same way on the road to teams,
it hurts.
The Michigan one, everybody could go, okay, it's Michigan.
Michigan, right.
Then Maryland, Minnesota, Washington. It's painful. It is painful to watch. At least if you're getting blown out, I guess that's somewhat better. Like, okay, we never had a chance. But this is really bad, and he's got to figure it out quickly. Maybe he did with the quarterback switch. I doubt it. But we'll see. Maybe they win 3 out. Maybe they win a bowl game. And then, of course, we will all flip and be pro-US. Then it's amazing heading into 2025.
It really is. That matters.
I would actually say that the Washington loss is worse than the other ones, because Washington is coming off.
Because DeMarco Farr went to that suck school?
Well, no, because they're in a complete rebuild. They were 4-4. They're not very good. They're a Pac-12 team.
Tough place to play, though.
But still, it's a Pac-12 team that you knew for a very long time. You've never been to Minnesota. You've never been to Maryland. You've never been to these teams in the Big Ten. Doesn't matter. It's still Big Ten.
I get it, but that's not that, like losing to a team with the fish who's rebuilding. I don't think that's it. Maryland, Maryland
You should never
stinks.
lose 100%.
Okay,
You're
that
totally right.
cannot happen.
But you've never been there. You've been to Washington
The mean
over and
streets of
over
Route 1
again.
in
You've
College
won
Park,
in
Maryland
Washington.
are not a big deal.
No, you're right.
That's
However,
why you're USC. You don't have that
my
excuse.
My point is that you've been to Washington. You know how to play in Washington. This is not something new to you. You should be able to go into there with a bad rebuilding team and beat them, no matter what. That is a loss that is not acceptable.
Jed Fish might have been a better head coach for this team.
He should have been.
Lincoln Riley would have been. I'm just saying. Just saying that Arizona squad was pretty good. They had a lot of toughness too.
Think about that statement, though. Think about how bad that is at this point.
Not great
for
Bob.
USC Trojan fans.
Not great.
That you're saying that Jed Fish is a good coach. That you're saying that Deshaun Foster is.
No, you said
better
Deshaun Foster.
I'm
Yeah,
saying because
I
he
didn't say
is
that.
as of right
Yeah.
now. As of right now, you wouldn't say that Deshaun Foster is a better head coach
I'm not
than
gonna-
Lincoln Riley.
No, I'm not
gonna
going
go
that
there
far.
just yet.
For this year,
No.
with a team that is completely rebuilt. Also,
Mister,
everything.
you can't even say that the Lions are better than the Chiefs right now. You're expecting
I
me to
know.
say that Deshaun
I'm not-
Foster
that's
is a
not what I'm
better
saying.
head
I would-
coach than Lincoln Riley right
That
now?
is not what I
No.
said. I
there's
said that
a-
I would pick Mahomes over the Lions.
All right.
I think there's a looseness that UCLA and Deshaun Foster are benefiting from.
Yes.
Because there was no pressure. Any win is a win versus it is an upgrade based on what the expectations were. USC's got a lot of pressure. Lincoln Riley's got a lot of pressure. They're falling apart, obviously. And if Deshaun Foster wins in a few weeks and UCLA beats USC, which I think is very likely at this
Extremely
point.
likely. That's a game I might attend.
Yeah. Then we could maybe have that conversation. But let's calm down.
The condescension from Lincoln Riley doesn't help either.
No.
Which is
Well,
not something that Deshaun Foster
He's
has
acting like
employed.
a punk for no
Right.
reason.
Right. That's the
Why?
major
He
factor in all
can't
of this.
control the narrative.
Yes,
No.
that's a good point. He's used to that. In Oklahoma, it's a different story.
This guy auditing the business. This guy that just walked in. This guy that walked in looks like he's like from.
He does.
From not even the IRS. He's like a
Directly.
different part of the
Right, He's
government.
from Fort Knox in a building that's unmarked.
Right. And he's like he's auditing all kinds of things.
I don't know. That's why I'll put a shirt on. Tank tops might not be allowed on Tuesdays.
Brian, hide your wallet.
Yeah.
Brian had your tapes.
I just want to leave you with this one last stat, and then we'll move on to the next segment. But through 36 games as the USC head coach, Lincoln Riley is 23-13. Through 36 games as the USC head coach, Clay Helton was 27-9. 27-9.
I mentioned it to Travis. Back in the old morning show days, we gave Clay Helton so much crap.
I remember
I
it.
used to
Constant.
post pictures of him looking dopey on the sideline because he looked dopey. He was an idiot. And he went to the Rose Bowl with Sam
That's
Darnold
right.
and beat Penn State.
Yes,
right.
And we
great
would
game.
kill. We would kill now to go to a Rose Bowl game. We're not going to stiff the Rose Bowl with Lincoln Riley.
Which is just amazing. All right.
Goes down to my favorite term. Be careful what you wish for.
No, it's
you
true.
just might get it.
It's true.
And that's a lot of money that's going to somebody that you're going to have to eventually buy out.
Is that guy like? Is he going through like the back? He's not going through like our files, is he?
Well,
Because
just
I got
keep
some
him out
stuff.
of my
I got a stuff in a filing cabinet that may. Listen, it depends.
Nobody
on
wants to
which-
know what's in your filing
It
cabinet.
depends on if you read it and look at it with an open mind.
What I was going to say is if that guy's the reason why all that crap outside of the door that we walk into
It's
is
gone.
gone, God bless him.
Now, I don't know if
That's
that's
a
Number
Stephanie
of ti-
Alexander thing.
number of
Steph
times I
did
came
that.
screaming out of that door and nearly blew out an ACL.
She
And I
said,
s-
what did she do?
I
No, you
still
got rid of
have-
it.
No, that's what I was going to say. The best thing that happened at the station in a month.
Oh, that was the
That's
bit?
what I was referring to. Let me tell you, I still have a visceral reaction now because I had to train myself to stop when I walked out of that thing and I was running to the bathroom between breaks and I was like, "Oh right, I'm in the clear." I felt like Forrest Gump as a kid. Legs
When the braces flew
you
off.
just run. You know,
I
that's what
still
was doing.
feel weird walking out that door and it's
Yeah,
not there. I'm like,
that's
oh,
what I'm
it's
saying.
not, it's not there right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. So that was a great job.
It was. All right. So over the weekend, I did something that I thought was extremely cool, and I want to know if you've
Okay.
ever done something like this before or if you would. All right, Bergman, Yates, that's all
Why are you
coming up
looking at me,
next.
Brian? I didn't do
Well,
the tease.
Turn your mic back on. So
Well, I didn't do the tease.
I'm doing the tease. That's coming up next.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays after Mason in Ireland. Like, I hate to tell everybody, I mean, because look, if you look at me and you go, Cap, what are you, like 28, 30
Yeah,
years
sure.
old?
Yeah, you do look better in person than I thought you would.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Hot, right?
Yeah,
Hot
I think
piece
so.
of ass, right?
Well, close to hot. Like,
Okay.
definitely handsome.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe a warm piece of ass? Yeah.
Okay, right.
Sedano and Cap today at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
After their overtime win in Seattle, your Los Angeles Rams are on a 3-game winning streak. The Rams are coming back home for another primetime matchup under the lights for Monday Night Football as they take on the Miami Dolphins and try to keep their win streak alive. You don't want to miss this electric primetime matchup. Tickets are on sale now at rams.com/MIA. Again, that's rams.com/MIA to watch your Los Angeles Rams face off against the Miami Dolphins this Monday, November 11th at SoFi Stadium. See you at the Rams house.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Paid for by Cars for Kids.
One of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles, East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy, spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
Hey guys, it's producer Lindsay. Listen up, sports fans. Gear up for your next game day hang with your friends. What's on the menu? Sliders, wings, chips, and salsa? Well, all your favorite game day foods go great with Stella Rosa wines, a semi-sweet and semi-sparkling wine that must be served chilled. Stella Rosa can be found at your local retailer, so remember to grab a couple bottles next time you shop. Nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. Please celebrate responsibly.
All right, no, we're not doing this. This isn't Ratchet.
This isn't Ratchet.
No,
This isn't Ratchet.
we're
not playing Justin Timberlake.
We have sold a bill of goods on the Ratchet.
A 6-year-old song.
This is
Okay,
Ratchet.
espérate, time out, okay?
Espérate.
We either do Yacht Rock or we do Ratchet.
I say we go to Yacht Rock.
Not a Justin Timberlake
I've
number
got-
one
On
hit
this
that got
day.
played
No, it's
on
just
this day. That's not on this show.
I don't care.
Take it away,
I
Shadano.
do it. I'm just.
Well, go ahead. Give me the on this day.
This is looking like the USC
Justin
offense
Timberlake
right now.
released his album Justified in 2002. But I just wanted to play music that, listen, I'm 36, not 76. So you know what I'm
But
saying?
did you know what show you're on?
Yeah,
Yes.
This is the Yacht Rock show,
Yeah, but
especially
they're
on
not
Tuesday.
here today.
That's
I
fair.
understand.
I get that. But
But I'm wearing my
saying.
Yachtly Crew 24 shirt.
Good for you. You're rocking it. Do it again. Chest open.
I'm just saying, like, I'm fine with the Ratchet.
Fine,
this
Brian.
isn't Ratchet.
At least that'll make
Hold
Mason
on.
Iron listeners
I vote
nervous.
for
Cut
Yacht
it.
Rock.
Put it.
I vote for Yacht Rock.
Yacht Rock is
from
great.
here on out.
By the
Yes.
way, he did say you would vote for Yacht Rock.
Yes, of course.
I don't mind
And
balance.
I do too. I love Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
I love Yachtly Crew.
I
so
literally
I think
listen to Yacht Rock. I am on the SXM channel constantly.
Yeah,
it's
it is
happy
good, right?
music.
It's real. Yeah,
The Yacht Rock channel's great.
It's one of the better program things they have. That's another matter.
That actually is true.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
is slipped.
It's
The only thing keeping me anymore is the Yacht Rock channel.
I don't want to get into a whole other conversation about other
It's bad.
mediums, but yes, Yacht Rock, great channel.
Meanwhile, I don't know. What did we tease?
All right, so I teased. I went. So this.
Oh, yeah,
week,
your
Once
experience
again,
over the weekend.
We're
Yeah.
behind the sticks on offense. We've got long downs
Hey,
and
we're good.
distances.
Let's move
throwing
forward.
Hail Marys trying
Hey,
to get
it's
first.
I'm
third
worried
down,
about
we're
that
gonna
guy
pass
from the
it.
CIA in the back meeting with Tommy.
Hey, that's all your stuff. Just stay out of your office. Studio C belongs to you.
You did something cool, Greg.
So I did something cool. So I went to. Have you ever heard of Sandbox VR?
No, I have not.
So it's this really cool thing. So you go to this place. There's one in Culver City and there's one in Woodland Hills. I went to the one in Culver City.
Okay.
And you put on, it's just VR. You put it on, you're completely immersed. They put this like the little nodes on your arms and on your feet, and
You're
go into
standing
this-
on your 2 feet.
You're standing on your 2 feet,
Okay.
and you're in a room. So it was me and like it was.
What do you
Four
think he's
people.
doing?
No, I don't know. Hanging from
So you're
something?
laying in a bed. Like,
No,
what
I
is he
don't
supposed to
know.
be doing?
You said
Those
immersed.
are Brian type of shows.
Floating in water? God knows what. I mean, there's a
No,
lot of different experiences these days.
You're fully immersed in it, and so you go into this room, and they put like this red. As you put the headset on, there's this red line that goes around, so you know the size of the room and don't hit a wall. But then we did Squid Games for it, and it was the coolest thing that I've done in quite some time. Have you ever done any type of VR or like VR?
Not big on the Oculus or the VR, but I know of them. Yes.
Yeah, so it's that, but it's completely immersed. If you look down at your body,
So
you
you're
look
dodging
like you're,
old guys in sweatsuits getting shot.
there are
by
people in
weird
sweatsuits.
dolls?
You're playing, the red light, green light game. You're
Ugh.
playing. You're going across the bridge, and if it drops, you go like
I
you
had
go
to
into
bail on
darkness.
Squid Games. It was too violent for me.
It's extremely
I couldn't.
violent.
The bridge one was the last one I watched. I was
Oh,
like, this is
that
too
was-
psychologically. This is intense for me. I was like, I can't do this.
It
I'm out.
It gets super intense, but it was really cool.
Do they
also-
monitor your vitals while you're in there?
So I have no idea. I don't know, but I do know that there was a couple that was in there in a different room, and they were fighting
Speaking of
zombies.
immersion.
And they were fighting. Again, not Brian's world.
I'm just saying.
No, Cappy's world is more the couples.
I was going to say that's a
right.
Cappy thing, not Brian.
But there was this couple, and they were in a different room, and they were fighting zombies, and we only knew that because every 3 seconds the woman was going,
Yeah. This is why I was asking,
Screaming.
do they check your vitals? Because people are probably having cardiacs left and right in there, getting scared by things they've never seen or never going to see.
It was so fun, but see, you're
couldn't do that.
You're close. You're close there. You wouldn't go do that.
I'm
What
not
is it
big
about the VR
into
that you
being
wouldn't?
scared by things?
Well, you don't have to be scared
as a method of entertainment. Squid Games, yeah, I'm shook. Hey, here's the bridge. If you don't win this tug of war battle, you're all gonna die.
They have other
that's
things.
That's not for me, dog.
You can just be shooting people on a pirate ship.
No,
or
again,
whatever.
I don't need firearms.
They did have a pirate ship one. I swear.
Let's just shoot people on a pirate ship.
No, I mean it sounds cool. Don't get me
It
wrong.
was very, very cool. If you have a chance, go to Sandbox VR. It was super, super cool. Have you ever done anything like that?
No, because I think my anxiety would not do well.
That's what I'm saying.
with
It's
the VR.
tough.
So
I can't even handle panic rooms. Like
Yeah.
those rooms make me crazy.
I like padded rooms, but not a panic room.
Whoa. Different type of room.
This is an odd segue to say this, but so my girlfriend's nephews,
Yeah.
they do it, and they've done it a couple times in front of me. They have the odd thing.
The
it's
Oculus?
freaky to watch them.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine being in it.
No,
But you can actually see the people in front of you. So, like, if us three were in this room, it'd be the size of this room. We can move around each other just like we would normally move around each
You
other.
see how well that's
see them
going
in front
just
of you.
today? No, I think I want to do that for fun. No, I'm joking. But that does sound like a cool idea. That would have been a great idea when I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? When I was a little bit
It
more
was
reckless.
fun, man. Right.
My world was a little less jaded. I could see a little bit more things. You know what I would do, though? I want to do that thing that's like Top Golf, but for like home run derbies where it pops the ball up and you hit the simulation
that's
thing
pretty
into
cool.
the crowd. They don't have that here yet, though. They've yet to have that here. When they do, we should all go together.
We should go together. I can go
They
0
have
for
one
4
in
there, too.
Dallas. Exactly. They have one in Dallas. They have one in Vegas. I've not been to either ones. But when you said full immersion, I was thinking like you're getting into like a liquid, like there was some
you
sort
don't
of
get in
a
a suit.
situation.
You just have these
yeah.
like nodes things that have little like
where you're like
spider arm
suspended
things
from the
things off
sky
them.
and you can turn into Spider-Man or whatever. Peter
Now,
Parker.
they are talking about VR treatments for people with severe anxiety or phobias.
Yeah.
If you have certain things.
But that would go towards what you're talking about.
Well, the thought process would be you can treat it. So a CBT can treat it by being able to measure your vitals and talk you through it. So if your phobia is heights,
sure,
they could put you in a VR where you're falling off a building.
Oh, jeez.
Or walking towards it and being able to talk you through it.
And you're not going to risk
without having to do like traditional CBT treatments where part of it is going, kind of mental therapy or when they put you under, what's it called?
Hypnosis?
Anesthesia?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You can avoid that if you're not into that,
Sure.
which I personally am not into it. So some of it is VR.
So for you, they would put you in a car on a
On
freeway,
a freeway
the-
going at night fast,
Yeah.
which has become like an anxiety that I don't even. It's obviously not from driving because I didn't have an accident.
Sure.
It's something that's developed really since the pandemic. So those things they're talking about that.
Let's be clear. This is all very real. And this is sort of an aside, but we're talking about this. I was doing a talk when I was at, matter of fact, for those watching on YouTube, Ames, when I was in Ames, Iowa, speaking to their sports media new major, somebody asked me, are there any usages of AI that you can think of for good? And this kind of falls into that realm. And I said, not really. I thought later about transcription for interviews and stuff. But that you're talking about, Chris, good usage of artificial intelligence, which is helping people overcome fears or weird, I don't want to say weird, but like disorders that otherwise people are not used to seeing in public or various compulsiveness things. Like I can imagine that's where AI is probably the best used as opposed to whatever various other human beings are using it for, whose names I won't mention because, hello, it's election day. But my point is that that's a good one. I like that when I think about AI, helping people get over problems as opposed to just solving problems that nobody ever had.
100%. So is this something that you would even think about doing then? So you do
No,
that?
I have thought about it. I've
Yeah.
talked to it with my therapist and stuff about possible, as it becomes more mainstream, VR treatments for those things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that is pretty
All
cool.
right.
All right, so Dave Roberts said a bunch of stuff on the Mookie Betts podcast that I kind of want to get into because I think a lot of it is shocking to me that he actually went this way. We'll get into a little bit of that. Yates, Bergman, that's coming up next.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
This one's going to live
Park
forever.
Party
Come
and
on.
Play at Hollywood Park Casino. Listen to Travis and DeMarco to win the ultimate game day prize pack. VIP tailgate passes plus game day tickets. Listen to your cue to call and don't miss your chance to win the ultimate game day experience. Park Party and Play with me at Hollywood Park Casino. Must be 21 and older to enter.
Greeny on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Cap. So you get this letter from the Department of Water and Power with two big bold words, high usage. And you don't really know what to do about it, but you kind of have an idea of who you can blame. So you go knock on your daughter's door and you go, hey, would you stop showering for 45 minutes twice a day? And then you go to your son and say, would you please stop washing your car 3 times a week? And then you continue with your life until you get another one of these beautiful letters that says high usage on it. This is where the Water Boy comes in. The Water Boy specializes in pressurized leak detection. All they do, day in and day out, is go to homes and find leaks. Their state-of-the-art equipment allows them to visually and acoustically inspect your pipes to find that stubborn leak that's constantly flowing. It can be anything from a failing toilet to a burst pipe in your slab. You don't even know it existed. They have ample amounts of experience from water damage restoration to general construction and plumbing that, when combined, allows them to master the art of leak detection. They do non-destructive leak detections, which means they're not going to open or damage the structure of your home. Their equipment is advanced enough to listen to the exposed surfaces and indicate where the leak is occurring. They are widely used by homeowners, property managers, and even realtors to inspect pressurized water systems to make sure they're intact and functioning with no leaks. Call Omer at the Water Boy Leak Detection today, 818-518-5055. Visit thewaterboyinc.com. That's the Water Boy Leak Detection at 818-518-5055. Talk to Omer. He's going to take good care of you at the Water Boy. Visit thewaterboyinc.com.
Hey kids, Uncle Artie here from Perennial Law, here to tell you about a newer sponsorship deal with Matt Barnes, who has deep LA roots, former Bruin and pro basketball player for both LA teams.
If you're looking for the best possible results after an accident, call my guy, Uncle Artie, at Perennial Law. And there's never any upfront fees. They collect when you collect. And for the record, their win-loss record puts them in the top of the standings. That's 844-DIAL-UNC. That's 844-DIAL-UNC.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
See now? This is Ratchet for the Yacht Crew, Yali Crew.
This is Ratchet Yacht.
Chris, read
Yacht
this.
Rock.
What does it say? I'm not going to get you in trouble. Just read what the name of that product is.
Bag Balm Skin Moisturizer. Is it for your bag or is it you use it on your skin? You didn't think I had a follow-up? Can I smell it?
Which bag? Hey, oh!
Nice.
Smell
good?
This moisturizer.
Do you use this on your all?
This is in the Yacht Rock world.
Do you use this on all your body or just?
I use it on my bag.
Well, now
Now
I feel
give
weird.
it back to him.
I feel weird touching it.
That's so weird.
That was a little bit.
And now I just rubbed my
weird.
eye accidentally.
Like, I understand that DeMarco has a line that we're not sure where it is. That was a little bit on the other side of the
I was waiting all day for that. Okay.
134 on a Live Imaging Tuesday.
Now you're choking?
Just saying.
On Election Day.
Just saying.
The polls
I
close
didn't name the product. Sorry.
The polls close tonight at 8 p.m. And no matter which side you vote for, we are electing a new president either way. So go out there and vote. East Central Hotel is a place I could always vote. Not literally vote, but I could vote it as the best hotel rooms, the biggest hotel rooms in downtown L.A. I'll be staying there Thursday night with Cappy. Maybe in the same room, maybe not. You know why? Because there's Kings hockey. And I'll be running the game for some reason.
They got a nice win last night, by the way.
They did.
They
They
did.
play again against the Wild, 5 p.m.
Shut out the Preds.
Yeah, coverage starts at 4:30 p.m. on the all-new ESPN LA app. It's across from LA Live, the East Central Hotel, right here. Okay, Crypto.com Arena, Microsoft Theater, the Convention Center. This is the time of the season where you're going to go to a Lakers game. You're going to take your Heina or one of your friends. You guys are going to get after it. You're going to get crunk. Okay?
Bring your bag bomb.
Yeah, you're going to want to play with the bag bomb, and you're going to say, don't get behind the wheel. And an Uber is going to cost you almost as much, if not more, than just going to the East Central Hotel. You can relax at the Nixo Lounge, have one more cocktail, have a nightcap, as the kids used to say, and then go back to your giant room with that giant hand there, put your keys on there, and then BAM! Decide what you're going to get into. Maybe the bag bomb's involved. Maybe it's not. And then you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast at the Nixo overlooking downtown L.A. and Figueroa. It's beautiful. The East Central Hotel provides entertainment, sucker. 213-748-1291. Call them and say, hey, I want the Scott Kaplan penthouse. 213-748-1291 today. East Central Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Also at eastcentralhotel.com. Entertainment's official address.
Do you know what room you're going to be staying in? Are you in the Kobe room? Or are you in the...
Well, that depends. I might be in the Scott Kaplan penthouse or on Kobe room, the Wayne Gretzky room, the who's the guy from Aerosmith? Steven Tyler room?
You tell me, yeah.
I blanked for a second. The Madonna room?
The hand in the room is interesting.
It is weird.
The hand is a little interesting, yeah. Sitting there.
So you've stayed there?
Oh, yeah.
And you know about the hand?
Oh, yeah. I'm well
What do you
familiar.
put on the hand? Have you ever sat on the hand?
bag bomb?
Thank you. I was going to say, my balls on the hand and then the bag bomb on the hands. Basketballs, that is.
Of course, the basketballs. Yes.
I'm serious. Seriously. You can fit a basketball in that hand. That's like,
yeah, it's a giant hand.
Is that big of a hand?
It's a big hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
I've done that before, literally. So, you know.
All right, perfect. All right, so Dave Roberts had a few things to say on the Mookie Betts podcast just the other day.
Okay.
And I'm really surprised he actually said some of this. Listen to this one. This is about him when Blake Trinan was in the eighth inning, what he would normally do and what he did. Because he left Blake Trinan in to get out of the eighth inning, and then they allowed it to go in Game 5 to get to Walker Buehler in the ninth.
Right.
This is Dave on that decision.
I looked at Freddie. Blake didn't look at me, and I go, the right decision is to stand down and let him get him.
So would you have before, in years prior, would you have went and got him no matter what?
In years prior, I would have got him no matter what.
And why is that? Because of is that just like
it's more of a feel thing.
Okay.
It's more of a feel thing, and I just felt that he was, for me, and no disrespect to anybody else, I just felt in that moment we were going to live or die with Blake Trinan on the mound, and I had to trust him.
So that's something that he was absolutely right to do it there. You live and die by Blake Trinan in that situation because he didn't really got anything else. But the fact that he's admitting that in years past he would have gone and got him, he wouldn't look the guy in the eye. That was what we talked about before the postseason even started. What is he going to do with his gut? And he's admitting that his gut from years past, he would not have done that.
I would also say that probably is a decision that has much to do with Blake as it has to do with him, because Blake was a more experienced player at this point. And I think I talked to Blake a lot during the series leading up, just in terms of reporting. And I think Blake specifically showed something in that, his stuff was as good as it had been pretty much, period, in terms of his ability to get away from right-handed batters, his ability to keep that ball in the strike zone but outside of the actual hitting zone was incredible. And so I think that there was an element of that. And this is where Dave's growth has been the most obvious to me, is in his knowing of his guys as much as it is in any buttons being pressed. And I think that's what this speaks to as much as anything. I'm not surprised he admitted it because, look, you're on a podcast, you're with your homie. Do you remember the love fest that was that parade? I mean, guys were telling each other they loved each other. I mean, it was pretty
Constantly.
It was pretty intense, So for this to be an outcrop of that, obviously after a win as well, I think is reasonably expected. But I do think this has as much to do with Dave's personal maturity increasing, which is something that people forget about all the time when it comes to managers, just because they're kind of already old. The maturity element for what a guy does, not just in what the buttons they press on, again, but how they know their players, it matters. I think this was the case where it did.
It matters. And to the fans itself, I know you're talking about how there's more to it than just if pulling a guy, bringing a different guy in, all those stuff. There's more to it. But fans look at it, at managerial decisions as that. What do? Do you pull him out in those situations? Because there was two on. There was only one out at that point. He got Giancarlo Stanton, and then he got, Volpe right after that? Mm-hmm. So he was able to get those guys out. The fact was that he was able to move past that with two on, and he'd already given up runs. The last couple of appearances, I think it was his last 3 appearances before that, he was giving up runs. So in that situation, he couldn't.
Yeah.
You lose that game if you give up runs.
But they didn't, and I think that's why it's not a simulation. So for some fans who look at it that way, if you're going to go on results-based stuff, well, they won. So, that was the right decision. But I do think that it's worth understanding because that is, to me, that's how the game is played. You know what I'm saying? That's such a big part of not just why Dave's good, but why some of these other guys are really bad is because they only think based upon, they say you listen to the fans too long, you're going to be sitting up in the crowd with them. Yep. There's an element of that. And so I think that this postseason, more largely to I think why this is interesting, is that Dave is finally going to get to be a person that I don't think anybody in the big leagues has seen on the outside. He's going to be able to express himself in terms of coming from a position of strength, in terms of who he is. That's actually going to make him much more likable, I think, far beyond the wins. I know that sounds crazy to say, but Dave is a cool dude. That's why people, non-fans, if you will, genuinely like him. And now that bridge is going to be able to be that gap is going to be able to be bridged, I think Dave's popularity, I mean, hell, you were wearing his jersey on the show
damn right
the
I
other
was. He
day.
deserved
You
it.
know what I'm saying? And I think that's where he's really going to shine, is that it's not just going to be about the baseball anymore. People are going to realize this guy's pretty cool, and people like him, not just those people that root for the Dodgers.
Well, he has something to hang over them at this point. He has 2 world championships,
but he's not
World
that
Series.
kind of guy, is what I'm
but
saying.
But the fact is that he is in a position, like you said, of strength, because now he's probably going to get a brand new lifetime deal or something along. He's going to get a bigger deal. He's going to be here for a long time. 4 World Series in 8 years, and 2 of them winning it all. He's in a good spot just in life and in general.
But what I'm saying, Greg, is unlike, I don't know, David Price, who when he finally won one with the Red Sox literally walked into the media room and was like, F all you guys. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, he's not going to do
about,
that stuff.
If you're going to see, I don't know, a Tito's Tacos ad with Dave Roberts in it or whatever, he's going to become just a more popular person around town because of that right there. Yeah. It's not because he's going to hold it over your head. It's because he doesn't have to talk about it. He can just say, guess what? I'm Doc. Open the door, let me in. I'm never buying a beer ever again.
But this decision that he was going with his gut when it came to Blake Trinan led to this also. He also talks about coming home for a Game 6.
You're down 3-0. You're at the point where you have nothing to lose now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who was favored, who wasn't. When you're down 3-0, everyone is expecting you to lose anyway. So now that, for me, it's freeing. And so they played free, won Game 4. And I will tell you this now publicly, I was so afraid to come back to Los Angeles for Game 6, knowing we still had Yamamoto in our back pocket. But the point being is that if we were to come back, the noise, the pressure becomes real. Mm-hmm. Because then you're going to start potentially being part of history in the wrong way, a team that gave up a 3-0, because it's never been done in the World Series. We did it in the ALCS, the Yankees versus the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was the fear of going back. So to your point, yes, I managed with urgency. Even when we were down 5-0, I didn't know how we were going to finish this dang game.
I love that kind of thing.
Yeah, he was asked about it quite a bit over the course of the World Series, because as farther as they got up, and then after that first, because the travel day, they played 2 here, and then they got to the 3-0. And so everybody kept saying after the 3-0 game, everybody kept asking about Boston. And he was getting pissed. He was like, listen.
Different teams.
No, that's not what he said at all. He was like, listen, stop asking me about that, because that's honestly what's making me nervous. I've been on the other side of this. Could you please stop bringing that up? Not because they were different squads, but because, yes, I'm well familiar with what this is like, and I think that's what he's informing his point from. He was on the other side. He remembers what it was like to have no monkey on your back and to see the other team crumble. That team happened to be the Yankees. And so I think what he's speaking to here, again, is an admission of something that you can say when you won, but probably wouldn't have necessarily changed in honesty to himself if they had won or not. You see what I'm saying? He was going to be scared either way, because it would have made sense to be. They happened to win it. They didn't happen to win it. They did win it, and now he can talk about it. I think, again, I'm so impressed, with Mookie for upholding this podcast throughout the course of the season and continuing to be the contributor to the squad he's been whilst growing the game on the outside, and B, bringing it back into the fold immediately after.
Right.
It's great to be out in Alhambra or whatever, slinging Raising Cane's, but actual insight from the people on your team. Oh, what a contribution.
Remember, he did it with Fernando Tatis after.
Correct.
So
Mookie's, I love Mookie.
Yeah, no, he's done all that stuff. So it was just nice to hear Dave be so honest, because there's so many managers, head coaches, whatever, that even after the series is over would still not admit that they had some fear in all that. And he actually straight up said, I was terrified to come home for Game 6.
Quick moment. My favorite part of the World Series happened. That was a really off-kilter moment. I can't remember who asked Dave this, and I apologize for not knowing the name, but we sat down after the game, and somebody walked in and goes, Dave, by the way, UCLA is going to get to play in their field today. Dave goes, what? Because, there was that whole thing around Jackie Robinson Field, and it was like completely in the middle of the World Series. Dave was super pumped that his UCLA Bruins
That's right.
got their stadium back, and we're going to be able to play this season. You can look that story up on your own. But that's the kind of humanity he's showing now that makes him cool.
Absolutely, and that's just another example of UCLA beating USC, and I love it in every sense of the word. All right, we got
I have
what's
a question
up.
before you
Yes.
go to break, because Greg liked to say a lot. Oh, Dave just says whatever. Like, I don't believe what he has to say.
Well, he says,
would you believe him now after this?
Well, that was extremely honest. What I was talking about was when it came to injuries. He refused to say the true thing that was happening. Like when Freddie Freeman got injured.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Because half the time the Manders don't know either.
Exactly.
Be clear.
He's lying, and he's lying on purpose. Like it was all part of the plan to lie about what's going on. You don't want anybody to know that. So when Freddie Freeman gets to get injured, he's like, oh, no, we expect him in the lineup today. He's then now out for a week.
Also, Freddie Freeman is hiding cracked ribs from his own team.
Right, but it could have been anybody.
Play.
He said, we expect Tyler Glasnow to make his next start, or we expect him to be there tomorrow. And then the next day he goes on the IL, and he's done for the year.
Right.
Like those were the types of things that were happening. Or we're not sure, we think he's going to be injured, and he's playing in the next game.
Bam!
I also think just based on like the interview. Sorry, I know like I'm totally.
No, it's fine. Let's talk about Dave Roberts all night long. I love this guy.
Love Dave.
My thing is
weird me saying that, but I do.
that right there, because we were, not all of us, but some of us were very like Dave in a negative space. But I think taking that pressure off, like he already won the World Series. Like, look, I did it. And, like, you could feel that in that interview, how chill he was, how, like, all the
he was
so
I
much.
also tell you, there's also an element of Dave that when that camera's not on, the
different.
receipts are kept. The receipts are sitting right there,
You know what I
right
mean?
there on the wall,
Right.
so that when y'all come calling for your exclusive Dave interviews in spring training,
like,
you just might
"You
get
said
the
that?
boot.
You
He's like,
said
nope.
that?"
He says, yeah, oh, look, I got a bobblehead for you two here. It is a final. I'm joking.
If
but
he
yeah,
did that, it
Dave
would be
is smart.
absolutely
That would be
amazing.
hilarious.
That would be great.
I should sell him on that bit. That would be funny.
You really, really should. All right, we got What's Up, Fool. Yates, Bergman coming up next.
After a 3-0 loss in Vancouver, the Black and Gold find themselves in a do-or-die match Friday night.
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
realfathersrights.com/710 or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights, the Father's Rights Attorneys.
Hey, John Ireland here. Are you looking to sell your home quickly and easily without having to deal with repairs or the worry of buyers qualifying for new high-interest rate loans? Call Seller's Advantage. With thousands of satisfied customers, they're the go-to choice for homeowners looking to sell their homes fast. They'll buy your home for a competitive cash offer and can close in just days, not weeks or months. No repairs are needed because they buy homes as is. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Seller's Advantage is the fastest and most stress-free way to sell your home. If you're ready to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. Get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-2747 or sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey, football fans, what's better than cheering on your team with an ice-cold glass of Stella Rosa in hand? How about scoring the ultimate experience at the biggest college football game of the season with an ice-cold Stella Rosa in hand? That's right, Stella Rosa is giving you the chance to win 2 tickets, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. So what are you waiting for? Head to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter today, courtesy of Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
Can you be a crafty quarterback?
You can be.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you can be a crafty. They call it a cutie.
Oh.
Yeah, you can be a cutie at quarterback.
Is that negative?
It's a positive.
I don't think I'd want somebody to call me that.
He does the little things.
I'd prefer crafty.
Crafty?
Hey, Trav, you're cutie. Let's go crafty.
Okay.
It's Trav and D-Farr.
Back tomorrow morning after Greeny on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Attention football fans, the season's heating up, and that means it's time for jaw-dropping plays, spectacular touchdowns, and memories that'll last a lifetime. So if you're looking to grab the best seats for all the excitement, Vivid Seats is your go-to playmaker. With an incredible selection of tickets and a game-changing rewards program, Vivid Seats is your ticket to every thrilling moment. Don't miss out. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hi, this is Matthew Stafford of your Los Angeles Rams. This is Mason in Ireland on your home of Rams football, 710 ESPN.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate, it's friendship, it's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
All right, guys. So a little bit of breaking news from Shams. The NBA has suspended Philadelphia 76ers Joel Embiid for 3 games for the altercation shoving a columnist in a post-game locker room.
Is there a fine?
I did not read that, but I will probably look at it.
Okay.
But I want to know, do you think that this is a good punishment, bad punishment? Should have been more, should have been less? What are you guys thinking about this?
So let's see why I go first. You're a columnist that's in those rooms.
Okay. There's a couple things here. Number one, I also know more than I'm allowed to admit about this situation. And let's just say people that we know at this station know a lot more than they're willing to admit about this situation. But the bottom line is that you cannot touch a guy in the locker room if you're a player. That is just a rule that we've accepted. And do I personally believe that certain human beings, like, I don't know, that kid that ran up to Jason Kelsey talking this, that, and the third about his brother deserves to get popped in the
nonsense.
mouth? You know, because that's just the way of the world. He only got his phone slammed, and Kelsey ended up apologizing for it later. Do I believe that there is some level of vigilante justice, or what I'll just call basic human nature, that exists in this job? Yes, but Embiid cannot do that. He can't do that for a couple different reasons. Number one, it gives validity to something that nobody would have known about. That column was written weeks ago. It was polled. Half of America has no clue who that dude was who wrote it. And I don't mean that to be flip. I mean that in terms of the honest understanding of what went on. So now everybody knows about something that was a mistake that had been corrected. Number two, you open yourself up also to the trolls who are saying, well, where was all this effort on the court when the issue is that he's too injured to actually play, which is obviously unfair and makes no sense. And the third thing is just that, like, dude, you're the biggest name in the league on some level in terms of size and stature. I mean, I know Giannis and Wemby are in the league, but, like, come on. You're the guy. You are the guy in Philly. I know a lot of people that were around that team and covered that team who were just bummed. They were like, this is not what anybody wanted. It cannot happen. Listen, guys are going to write terrible things all the time. By the way, that was a garbage column with an even worse lead. That's another matter. As a writer, that was offensive. But no, can't happen, Greg, and the suspension completely warranted.
Completely warranted. You can't touch anybody unless, like, the writer came up to him and pushed him first and was trying to get
Even
in his
still.
face. But yeah, even still,
Kind of can't do that.
You don't touch anybody in general. This is what we were just talking about with Mookie Betts in the outfield and those guys grabbing his wrist. You don't touch players. You don't touch anybody. In those situations, touch nobody. But the fact of the matter, Joel Embiid is kind of bringing this stuff onto himself over and over again. Him doing this is just a pattern at this point for just this year alone, it kind of seems like. He's a guy that He seems like he is right at the top of the league, like you're saying. But the fact is, him coming out early on and saying, I will not play in back-to-backs.
Yeah.
And basically, it's very Anthony Richardson-esque. It's like, I was tired. I got to take my game. I got to take myself out for a play.
Yes and no. He's been hurt so much. He's so
He has
important.
been.
I get it. But to me,
get it, but
for the NBA, Greg,
to put it out there and say, I'm not going to do it.
But think about this example, and this is where this conversation gets tricky. Joe Mazzulla, world champion head coach of the Boston Celtics, literally said in an interview the other day he'd love to see the NBA bring fighting back. And you're like,
come on, man.
Right. And
It'd be fun to watch for us.
I know, but what I'm saying is that, like, at some point, you've got to sort of decide what's it going to be. Are we going to be in a complete non-violence nor any mention of it state of the game? Or are we just going to kind of allow it as long as people are just kind of talking about it? And if you're going to allow a Joe Mazzulla to say, hey, guess what? Bring back fighting, hardy hard. Not that he was joking, but like, the correlation is not direct in terms of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the attitude of the league towards general physical altercations is one that I think a lot of people are kind of in very different spots are, depending on where they are in the league. And as long as the league allows for that to be the case, you're going to have incidents like this where people feel like taking things into their own hands. I'm thinking about guys like Russell Westbrook, who when he went to Utah was like, F that. If one of these racist jokers comes after me, I'm throwing hands. And, like, he didn't get any suspensions for that. Nobody said anything was wrong with that because they understood the context. The NBA has a lot to deal with because it is the most intimate sports league in the world with the smallest labor force of excellence. You're going to have these kind of personal run-ins. You just got to know how to manage it.
And by the way, he was suspended without pay for those 3 games, so that I'm sure he can go and
I guess that serves as a fine to some degree.
Yes, it does, because
yeah.
he makes $55 million a year, so that's not some small number that he's giving up in his game check. So
Don't be hating on the man's
No, I'm
paychecks,
not.
okay.
No, I'm not at all. I'm saying, like, this is not a small
No,
number.
it's not, yeah.
Losing 3 game checks is not like, Max Christie making $100,000 or whatever it is.
What that is.
Yeah, that is a big number.
Sided money.
Yeah, that's sided money. All right, what's next?
I got a fun one here for you guys. So Alvin Kamara signed a 2-year extension with the Saints, and it was a little caveat of what he else got. A Abita beer company has given him beer for life.
Good
and
for
he
him.
posted on his Instagram, he's very excited about this. Got me thinking, if you signed a contract, you had something for life, what would that be for you?
This is easy for me.
Go ahead.
Vans. Give me a new pair every month for the rest of my life. That's all I would want. They're only shoes I wear to everything. You can bury me in them, as far as I'm concerned. You can bury me in a coffin that looks like an authentic with the laces. That's what I would want. Because I could just relate. Because I'm at that stage in my life, Greg, where, like, my footwear is not changing that much.
Right.
But I also don't need it to be, like, I can't be out here in the Air Monarchs, I look like I just mowed my lawn and you can't walk on it. I can't wear those. I can't wear
You don't
Jordans.
want
I'm past
the
Jordans.
Skechers that kind of like
No, I can't do the Hokas or whatever. I mean, I could, but like the comfy Cush Vans I will be wearing until I'm in the grave. I would take a new pair of those every month just to re-up.
So I would probably go with something
Sales
like...
department, I'm talking to you.
I'd probably go with like lids.
Lids?
So
Okay.
I don't wear any hats at work, but outside, as soon as I leave here, a hat's going on my head.
You have all those
That's
people
constant.
that are on your
Dude,
ass 'cause,
in
you know,
my
you're famous these
closet.
days.
Yeah, exactly. I have to keep my. I'm not television Clinton
No,
Yates,
no,
but
just saying.
No, either way, I have hats. I have big
problem.
rows and rows of hats in my
Yeah.
closet.
This used to be a big part of your identity.
It was, yeah. They were on my wall for a while. I had to wear a different hat on every stream that I
Right.
was doing, but I don't do that anymore. But I love hats, so I go to lids. Like, just keep feeding me hats, and I keep wearing different ones. I'm all in.
That said, have you ever had Abita Brewing Company?
No.
So Abita's in the reason why this is a thing is because Alvin plays for the Saints, and it's a New Orleans brewery. And I fell in love with, I can't remember what the brew of was Abita, like many years ago. And it's the only Abita I can drink now. Still, what up?
What's up,
kid
Beto?
in the building.
Bishop of Mott.
I did put a shirt on, much to Beto's dismay. But Abita has a really good, I got to find it. Abita makes good beer, is what my point is. And I would take a lifetime from them, too, especially if I was in New Orleans. You kidding me? You can get that everywhere. It's great.
Yeah, I have not had that one, but I'll give it a shot.
You ever had Abita beer, Beto?
Nah, I just came to see your arms and you covered up, bro.
I'm sorry.
I was at home watching the
Show
YouTube
the
stream.
guns
Hold
off.
on. I'll go next hour.
Tank
I'll
tops
take the
after
sh-
Labor
I'll
Day.
take
Look
the
at
sh-
you.
It's what the people want.
It's Tanked Up Tuesday. All right, hold on. I'm going to find this beer.
All right,
This is
send it to me.
Abita
Is that it? You got another one? You good?
If you want a
Yeah,
quick
sure.
one.
Go ahead.
All
Yes.
right, guys. So, Baseball Isn't Boring podcast had Joe Kelly on it, and he had a lot to say about the Yankees.
He owns that podcast, by the way. He's the host.
Okay, he's the host. My bad. So, he had a lot to say What is happening, man? I'm so sorry.
Talking to myself here.
He's getting naked in here.
He's definitely.
Shohei is now naked.
Shohei is now naked.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Maybe
doing
it
bits
is
for-
over. I'm so distracted now, and
It's
I
okay.
don't know what is happening.
His arms
over
are
there.
distracting you?
Hey, the whole situation.
The whole
is
situation was
distracting
pretty
me.
This is what happens when Beto comes in.
Yeah. Anyways, he had a lot. He was, doing a lot of bleep talking. He said if we had a playoff re-ranking, they might be ranked 8th or 9th. Playoff team. He's talking about the Yankees. He said you're putting the Padres ahead of him. You're putting the Phillies ahead of them. You're putting the Mets ahead of them. You're putting the Braves ahead of them. And he continues on. Some people loved that he was so, candid. Other people didn't really like it because he didn't play. How do you guys feel about Joe Kelly blasting the Yankees?
Joe Kelly is a part of this team. He is Mariachi Joe. He can say and do whatever he wants at any
tell him,
point.
Greg.
Absolutely. I don't care if they do. And by the way, 9th, probably pushing it a little bit to call them the 9th best team. They're probably 4th or 5th.
Was trolling
still,
hard, man.
Yeah, he was trolling very, very hard.
I didn't need this at all.
I didn't need
this at
that's
all.
Joe Kelly. That's
I
just
get
who
it.
he is.
I get it.
That doesn't
but,
surprise
also,
me.
The left off the World Series roster element of this.
He was
because
injured.
There's also an element of maybe it wouldn't have been on this World Series roster anyway. Didn't need that type of flow.
For the
in
pouty
terms
face,
of our,
for the Mariachi Joe, he is an LA Dodger legend from now on, no matter what. So Mariachi
but-
Joe can say and do whatever he wants.
I
And do it on your
guess-
podcast.
I don't know
Get
that
your
he's
clicks.
got that kind
Get your
of
clicks.
Like if you weren't on the World Series roster, they actually won it when all that other stuff happened in other years.
He gets a ring.
He
has other
gets
rings.
a ring. Taylor Trammell gets a ring, and
I
he
know.
could have gotten a ring depending on which team
Yeah,
won.
that was amazing,
My
by
point
the way,
is,
with the
that
Yankees.
was incredible. I just
And
thought
now he's with the Astros.
It was just a little too much for me. Like,
a lot of people
you
are
know,
on your camp, by the
didn't
way.
need that. Show a little class. I can't
Totally
find
fine
this
with
dag on a beat up here. I think it's discontinued.
All right, well, you keep looking for it. Beto Duran is here. Yates, Bergman, we're going to talk a little bit more
Guns
next.
are back out.
Whether you need a big stop late in the game.
Edwards downloaded even.
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
Catch every thrill from AD and the Lake Show this season.
Right here on 710 ESPN.
No turkey? No stuffing? No gravy? Oh no! Tell me it's not too late. Tell me it's not too late! Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Get a 16-inch hard-shelled roller suitcase when you earn 500 points on your rewards card. The 12th.
Number 2.
Veterans Day freebie. Rewards members get a free military rubber duck. The 11th.
And the number 1 reason.
Just hilarious. Live January 11th.
Morongo. Good times.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. I have teamed up with Travis and DeMarco to tell you about personal injury attorney Joseph S. Normand and his all-star legal team.
We've been talking about the law office of Joseph S. Normand for months, and they've helped listeners achieve maximum compensation that they deserve in an accident.
Getting into an accident can be scary and frustrating dealing with insurance companies. Let the Normand All-Star team handle it for you. Visit normandlegal.com or 213-747-2000.
The law offices of Joseph S. Normand, 213-747-2000.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
It is Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN. Don't get it twisted, yo. The most downloaded sports radio show in Los Angeles. The podcast, that is.
Mason and Ireland, the #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. The #1 most downloaded sports podcast in Los Angeles. And we thank all of our podcast listeners for that.
If you ever miss a moment, get your fill anytime. Just search Mason and Ireland wherever you get your podcast.
Mason and Ireland, Yates and Bergman. Beto Duran is here. And what are you guys talking about? He's taking
He's
pictures
saying
of your
that
guns.
I'm wearing white after Labor Day. And I said, I'm not a yuppie from the East Coast like Martha's Vineyard. I don't care about those stupid rules. You know what I'm saying?
What is even the point of that rule? Why white after Labor Day? What does it matter? It's
I'm
cold, so you
gathering
can't wear
it
white?
probably goes back to some old standard of what people
What's
were
the
supposed
etymology?
to do.
Tell me the etymology.
The etymology is different. That's for words. It's not for phrases or idioms.
I just wanted to use a big word. I haven't
know.
used a big word in a long
Well,
time.
you didn't use that one
That's
correctly,
why
so
I
we can hit the buzzer. I think probably this goes back to just certain customs of the time, which is you just didn't do certain things because it was going to offend.
I
It's
Googled
like
it.
it's like wearing skirts below your knee in church or whatever. Some sort of.
What
I
is-
guarantee
what is
it's got
it,
something to do
Laura?
with. Yeah.
Okay, streets in the late 1800s were made of dirt and assured you were be covered in dirt if white was worn.
Yeah.
Thus, those who had enough wealth to leave town for the summer wore white throughout the season. If one wore white after Labor Day, it was considered showing off your wealth.
See, you're showing off your wealth. You're television Clinton Yates.
That's why in Miami,
president
they
of
were
the
white all
handsome
year
man
round.
community.
The muddy streets of downtown LA.
Hey, they
Well,
are
that's
dirty
not
streets,
wrong.
bro.
Messing up my flow. Yeah.
That's not wrong. By the way,
Wear white wherever you want, especially if you're in Miami.
Thank
Beto,
you.
you're
Yeah, that's
wearing
the truth.
white.
Because it's a free shirt.
Yeah.
No,
There's
but it
that.
was more the white tank top.
Yeah,
you know,
this is a look.
It's
No.
November. You're wearing
It
a tank
was
top
all
in a
part of-
studio.
Tank
It's in
Top
a studio
Tuesday.
that's 60
Tank
degrees.
Top Tuesdays, Beto. That's what's going on.
So there's more than just
That's
the tank
what's
top.
happening.
He actually has a tank top on top of a tank top.
Beer.
Stop
yeah,
it.
you gotta have the
There's
beer
two.
underneath.
He has double
You
tank
guys don't
top.
wear undershirts?
He-
Like, what
he
is going
doubled
on?
his
man,
tank
we're-
top.
nah.
Come on, you guys
Wear
don't
the
know how to
shirt.
dress.
Let's go. That's an
I
East Coast
did-
thing too, for the humidity to keep the sweat off.
Pretty
you.
much. Yeah,
The
that's
undershirt
exactly what it is.
I did
No.
wear tank tops
Yeah.
like those wife
My
beaters. I
man
did wear
wears
them.
undershirts.
Your man is doing it for
And-
style. Yeah, in the East Coast, they
I'm
wear
genuinely using these for practicality. 'Cause
Yeah,
it keeps
East
them on.
Coast, because of humidity around you, you want to keep that off your regular
Correct.
shirt. That's why
That's
you wear
exactly
that.
right. Yes.
Yeah, streetcar named Desire.
Yeah, I wore those when I was 15 years old. That was
Yeah,
about. I
because you
played
grew up with
basketball.
Mexicans. That's why.
That's
That's
true.
funny.
It is very true. All right, so Beto, you were here last night doing the Lakers
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Me
So-
and by the way, I'm gonna stop my soapbox. Great job by you and Morales stepping up and doing the work that is needed around the station.
Oh, thanks, man.
There's no need for you guys to be doing that job, but you do it as a
Someone-
necessity. Somebody has to do it. And this is to the message of the kids in the back right now. Why don't you guys step up a little bit right now?
Learn how to board
Yeah,
up
because-
stop
what's going on
goofing
back there?
off on
Parker?
the third window.
No, because I'm being dead serious now. Okay, it's not my soapbox.
Oh, I'm
because
joking.
this is what happened. Bourbon, get out of it. Because
I know where he's going with
this. Is it. How I got my start in this business is because somebody didn't want to show up at midnight to 6 a.m. I said, I'm off at 11. I stayed overnight, and I replaced that dude who never came back. So if you're 21, 22 years old in this business and you have an opportunity to do something, don't leave. Keep your ass here. Learn how to do something, and next thing you know, you get a job. All right, I'm done.
Tell them.
The best of the best ability, availability. That
Absolutely.
is a
And Bergman, you
critical
can't respond.
element.
I know you're in management right now, but damn it.
I'm just saying.
That pissed me off yesterday.
for a
Oh,
little
sorry.
No, he's right though. Like listen, I tell a lot of the guys here, especially like the newer ones, the younger ones, never say no to work, because if you can work. Because the more you know, the more you're available.
Yeah.
The more you're valuable.
Right. It's a chance, that's opportunity that could become your job.
We're
when you
getting
don't
to
have
the
a
whole
job.
Gen Z versus millennials
No,
thing,
it's not
which
even
is
that.
fair. No, but it's fair. Is what I'm saying is that I think that it's hard to understand that things might just not come by. It's not a bus traveling. You're not going to get another one coming every
All I
10
know
minutes
is
in
that
terms of opportunity.
If I see my boss's boss doing something, I'm gonna say, "How do I do what you're doing?"
Yeah,
Because
so
there's
you-
no way you should be doing that
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
fair.
Anyway, all right, Berg, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's how
But-
I got into the business. That's how when I was an intern, did every single thing I possibly could. I learned from the board ops.
Yeah.
I learned from the producers. I learned from the update anchors. I learned from everybody to be able to do absolutely everything, so that I had the ability to go run a board when it's necessary. I haven't done it in 15
but if you need me to
years,
run the Kings
and I
game-
messed up a few times, but I still did it.
Because I heard Morales is running the Kings game on Thursday now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he runs USC games. He taught Brian Cohen how to run the USC games.
Man,
Brian Cohen, by the way, Brian Cohen is doing 5 days a week on Mason, Ireland, and USC football games on the weekends. Working 6 days.
Ooh, you're gonna get
We
us
love
started.
Brian
It's Beto
around
upset.
No, because
No,
it's
I
just,
get it.
and I know I sound like the old man right now. Anyways, Lakers lost.
I get it. All right, let me transition into that.
And great job by DeAndre filling in too. He's a fantastic, great example
DeAndre.
of stepping up and taking a chance of the
D is
opportunity.
He's
doing it
also
the
going to
right
be doing
way.
something more. I can't mention it just yet, but he has more coming too.
Oh, really?
Even better.
We'll keep it on my show.
So here's the deal. Last night, I saw a Lakers team that lost to a non-terrible Detroit team, but a team that, if you're not watching the NBA, you don't necessarily know anything about. I saw a coach afterward that looked like he had a good amount of accountability in J.J. Redick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask you, Beto, because you do the call and you do the postgame. Are people still of the belief that just because they see a name and they see the Lakers playing them, that they need to be blowing them out just because I think that there needs to be a reevaluation of what the entire talent level is, not just comparative to themselves, but comparative to the rest of the league, because it's not like there's a ton of teams running around that are head and shoulders better than everybody who aren't the Thunder or the Celtics.
The Laker fans are really smart. They know what's up. They know that this team is a team that should be around 6, 7, 8, somewhere around that right now. They could be around 4 or 5, but they probably won't be. So Laker fans know that just because you have the jersey on doesn't mean anything anymore.
Okay.
They don't intimidate anymore. You have the oldest player in the league who's playing fantastic. You have Anthony Davis who's fantastic. And then what do you have? Right? You have the Gabe Vincent coming in. You don't know what you're going to get. Max Christie, it's going to be wondering why did they give him that extension if he continues to play the way he did. So teams around the league are not intimidated. Yesterday in the pregame, Michael put that game in the fridge, and we called him
pregame.
out.
We talked about this.
In pregame.
But mind
Where's
you,
the clip? We need to hear that clip.
But he should have. You know why? The Lakers had 3 days off in Toronto. They had a good time. They rested.
Oh, well, Toronto. Hold on. Toronto is up there with you. You can lose
like
to
Miami.
Toronto.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, but
and I don't mean the Raptors.
But
right.
but they still went to Detroit Sunday night. Detroit was in Brooklyn playing. They were on the second night of a back-to-back coming home.
Oof, yeah.
You would think that the Lakers should take care of them, but what happened? Detroit, young players who don't respect what these old heads are doing.
Or who are there to play.
And Detroit is a much better team than this. Mind you, I did not do much research on Detroit. I said, okay, Jalen Duren's going to get you a double-double. Cade Cunningham's going to get some points, and that's about it. And the Lakers should win by 8 to 10. Not expecting that. And Detroit came out, knocked the Lakers around in the beginning, and they didn't answer. And this was the first time this season where the Lakers didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
And Anthony Davis even said after the game, we look like two different teams. There's opportunities. When Dalton Connect comes in and Max Christie comes in and everybody else comes off the bench and they're firing, game over.
Sure.
But when they're not,
they got to
right
find
now,
that secondary pitch. Yeah.
Right now, J.J. Redick is trying to figure out his rotations.
Yep.
He's tweaking lineups around. He's putting in Austin Reeves with LeBron. He's putting D'Angelo with AD, and it's working at times. But it's also going to take the coach trying to figure out what his personnel is, where the best
This
fit.
is what I was saying earlier in the show.
Yeah, but this is the starting lineup. The starting five. You know what you got out of the starting five.
Yes.
It's when AD leaves the game.
Yes.
They don't have a typical big that we've been talking about for years now, since 2020, basically, that they need another
Howard,
big.
yeah.
Yes, to
Literally
spell. That's why a guy like Jonas Valanciunas or Walker Kessler or whoever they end up going after will help. But I'm more worried about the whole Dalton Connect thing and the bench, the guys on the bench. Dalton Connect, he didn't play after the second quarter. He didn't play, so he had very few minutes. Max Christie lost all of his minutes to Cam Reddish. First of all, Cam Reddish is a fine player, fine defensively. But Max Christie, like you said, got an extension, is somebody they're going to have to develop. Something is going on there.
So I think the Cam Reddish was more the necessity of we need somebody with energy, somebody with life to come in and punch us in the arm and wake us up. And he played solid. I think that was more of Cam Reddish playing well yesterday in his own parameters, right? Yeah. I think that's what it was. And when you're a coach and you're losing by 10, 15, and you're like, oh, I can ride whatever I have in there. If you're going to have Cam Reddish playing that many minutes, that's a whole other issue. Gabe Vincent is still not healthy. He's working his way back.
Down the line.
He's working his way back to full health. Remember, he only played 7 games last year. They shut him down. So he's working his way back to full health. Eventually, he will get there. He's working his way into playing shape. But what are you going to get? The Dalton Connect factor for me, it's a player who's adjusting to the NBA, and also teams are adjusting to him. Now they know, okay, this guy's going to shoot it from wherever he's at, force him to take bad shots. They're going to get in front of him. Now teams have to be accountable for wherever Dalton Connect is at. So he's going to make the – I'm not too worried about Dalton Connect.
Not at all.
It's the Max Christie factor for me.
Yeah.
Because Max Christie did not play last year. He was going up and down with Darvin Ham's rotations. You didn't know if he was going to get 30 minutes or 3 minutes. And I think that's a player that needs to find his way in the NBA right now. The ability's there. It's just more of putting it together.
The other thing, though, is I'm not sure I believe that everybody that they've invested in is necessarily somebody you have to give playing time just because. The Hood Schifino situation pointed that out.
Well, they already know.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Done.
Right,
He's
but
done.
what I'm saying is that was somebody that you signed. You had taken as a developmental guy.
They declined his fourth year.
And that's my point, is that they gave up on a guy that
third.
otherwise looked like the kind of person you would say, yeah, we've got to do that. There could easily be some more people that are just giving up on at this point. And what I'm saying is I don't blame a JJ for you're not implying, but you were saying like, oh, well, that guy's got to get minutes. This guy, I don't know that anybody's on the table as
JJ
has to get
he has
minutes.
to play those minutes and play
he
well.
ain't about
in
that
those
action.
minutes.
And what I'm saying is that I commend JJ for not being beholden to, well, here's your roster or your contract situation. Therefore, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. He's playing the guys he thinks are going to matter in terms of the long term, and that I think is an impressive move.
So I agree with you there, but then these are the minutes for the starters last night. LeBron 40, Hachimura
Can't
34, Anthony Davis 39, Austin Reeves 39, D'Angelo Russell 33. They can't continue to play super high minutes every single night and expect them to be healthy. Look,
that's
Anthony
what
Davis
changes.
hurt his ankle again.
His ankle's bothering him since the summer.
That's what changes. If you're saying you've got to fill minutes because you've got to fill minutes, that's a different thing than saying this guy's got to play because he's got to develop. And I think that JJ's hardest job is going to be that specific thing. Am I actually developing somebody, or am I really just giving the other guys on the roster a blow because all of my good players are old guys that I can't have playing that much? That's a really tricky thing to balance.
And the Hood Shafino one, that's going to go back to the front office of really good draft. You had opportunity to get guys that you need. Pajemski, who's at Golden State.
Jaime
Jaquez, who was in your backyard.
Don't get me wrong. No. Don't get me started about the Jaime Jaquez pick.
But that's the thing of where
they botched that to the 10th degree.
That's
anyway.
why when people start blaming the coaches,
awful.
you have to look at the front office with what they've done.
Sure.
As well as they've found a guy like Dalton Connect, you miss on a player like Hood Shafino because there was I think the guy from Atlanta was behind him, another player that you could have taken. Drafting a one-and-done player on a team that already has guards. You're drafting a guard.
Not smart.
When you have LeBron and you have D'Angelo, why are you doing this? That's where they got to take the blame. So them saying, hey, we're done with Hood Shafino. We're going to cut bait after the season. I understand that. But you're admitting that we messed up here. And
right.
now you're behind.
That's the thing. If you can admit mistakes, you're more likely to be able to develop down the line. And that's something that this franchise has had trouble doing in a lot of years past. But, hopefully this is a step in the right direction.
But the calls were fun last night. We had a couple of people say, see, they suck. It's the wrong team. And then
it's been 7 games.
Then
you can't go into that just yet.
Right. It's been 7 games.
And they're above 500. Yeah. Last year they were not. The year before they were not.
The best is Funch was ready to wrap up the show, and a guy called in, Greg from Torrance, who called in. And I just see Funch flustered at everything, right? That was shocker. But he's like yelling and yelling. I can hear him through the glass. I'm like, on the air, like, Funch, what do we got?
What's going on?
He's like, just take this call. Take this call. The guy, older gentleman, Laker fan for a long time, said, I'm at the Costco parking lot waiting to get gas. I hear you guys are talking. Let me calm Laker fans down. I'm like, well, why are you arguing with your
Great place
with
to
Funch?
call from, by the way, at the gas station. Love that.
At Costco.
The Costco gas station, too.
So I'm like, why are you arguing with Funch? He's like, well, why is he arguing with me? That's exactly a good point.
It's the exact right point. You should be if there's going to be arguing, you
Funch,
should be when Funch puts you on the air.
We put him on the air quick. But that's where Laker fans are right now. It's up, down, and a lot of it's been covered up because of the Laker hangover parade. But pretty soon some Laker fans can come back and be like, they're still the same team from last year.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, could be.
Berg, you look good in that first chair.
Thank you,
Love
man.
that.
This is it's getting a little more comfortable as the time goes on.
You
but
run
we'll
the
get
show.
there. That's right. That's right. All right, so we're going to get into a little bit more Lakers on the other side, and I also see why there's something that I have an issue with that I think you of all people.
3-segment tease on this now. We got to get
I never
to
got
it.
to this one.
Yeah.
I never got this. It's been 3 segments off air.
That's true.
So this is something that I think you'll know what it is, and I think you can help me out with it. Yates, Bergman, Beto Duran. That's all coming up next.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey, John Ireland here. If you've been thinking about selling your home, the real estate market is changing. Before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage is focused on the seller's needs and will make you a competitive cash offer and can close in days. No agents, no commissions. Getting your home ready to list can be expensive and complicated. You don't want a lot of people coming in and out of your house. Seller's Advantage makes the selling process easy so that the sellers walk away happy. They may even offer you a $10,000 advance to help with moving expenses. Get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. That's 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-2747. Or go to sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage. Hey, it's Mace here. Wait until you experience the NBA at the hottest, most amazing venue in LA. That is Cosm in Inglewood. It's called Immersive Shared Reality. It will look and feel like you are courtside. If you want to be at Cosm for live NBA action, go to Cosm.com. That's COSM.com. Use code ESPNLA. Get 20% off any NBA game in November. Do not wait. Tickets go fast. Go to Cosm.com. That's COSM.com.
Hey, football fans, what's better than cheering on your team with an ice-cold glass of Stella Rosa in hand? How about scoring the ultimate experience at the biggest college football game of the season with an ice-cold Stella Rosa in hand? That's right, Stella Rosa is giving you the chance to win 2 tickets, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. So what are you waiting for? Head to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter. Courtesy of Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Orthodontics are teaming up this fall because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. This can be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, a youngster who brightens your day. Tell us who's smiling and you could win some awesome prizes like sweet tickets from ESPN LA, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, and a grand prize of Invisalign from Beverly Hills Ortho. Enter now at ESPNLA.com and remember you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
How deep is it? 12. That's not 12:06. The clock got me again.
It got you fully did.
2:21 on a Live Imaging Tuesday. On this election day, you now have this studio comprised of Clinton Yates, myself,
what up,
Bergman, and Beto.
Woohoo!
Mason and Iron listeners are really losing their minds.
The Reddit page is going insane.
Let me read
you take up that picture.
Let me read a tweet based on election day real quick. Guy kicked out of the voting booth for playing the ESPN NFL draft selection chime each time he fills out a new circle on the ballot.
That's pretty good.
Can you imagine how annoying that would be? One of the comments says, way too many circuit judges for all that nonsense, which is funny. Anyway, I just love the idea of somebody going into, probably lost a bet, and hitting that chime every time. That made me laugh.
By the way, producer Lindsay's dog, Chewy the dog, is here on this election day.
A lot of heartbeats in
and
here.
again, it jumped up and hit me in the schwanz. It hit me in the schwanz again.
He knows where to go.
He's got a thick paw. That's a thick paw.
Oh, now Ramona's here.
It's a big boy.
Ramona's here too?
Is this a bag bomb situation for you?
Where's Momo?
I thought that was Ramona. Oh, it's the dog. Oh, no, don't bring it in here.
Hi, Chewy. Oh, there's Chewy.
Hi, Chewy.
Look how thick he is.
Do you need the bag bomb?
He does have a big paw.
You sure?
I told you. And it's a strong paw.
He's a strong boy.
I don't.
He is a good pup.
Anyway.
I don't want a dog.
Very nice dog. Very nice, Chewy.
Yeah, if he's not jumping up and hitting you in the schwanz.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Damn it.
Brian probably does.
That's what the bag bomb's for. We've been over these.
Poor Brian. He's taking a lot today. By the way, I gave DeMarco Farr a lot of crap earlier for wearing a crew neck sweatshirt. And then I look over just a few minutes ago and I go, Brian, you're in a crew neck sweatshirt. He's like, yeah, I wasn't going to say anything. Come on now.
It's a good look. What do you have against crew neck?
Is it a body type thing for you because you can't wear them that you have
it's
a
not
problem
that I can't wear them.
What's wrong with that? It's a National League champion.
It doesn't look good on men.
See, okay.
Does that look bad? I don't know.
Here's the thing.
It looks the same with the hood.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
The design of the sweatshirt is different on a hoodie. It's
Stand
longer.
up.
It's supposed to look different. A crew neck is a more working person's type of piece of gear. Like you're actually
There's
doing
nothing wrong
something.
with that.
You wear
You're
that with
not-
your jacket over, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Crew neck is good.
Mix in a scarf.
When's
You know
the
what I'm
last
saying?
time, Greg, you wore a crew neck sweatshirt?
I don't have any.
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wore one 2 days ago. I
have a
almost
lot.
wore one today.
I have a
No,
great
you
one.
don't.
That's like a
Yeah,
crew
I have
neck
a
shirt.
I have a.
But
I have
also
a-
you
I have
have a-
2 drawers full of crew
Yeah,
neck
you're
sweatshirts.
skinny. You can do that.
Yeah, it's a different thing for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's about the
probably
size.
size
That's what you're
medium.
talking about.
Yeah, they
something-
are.
Crew necks are
they're-
good 'cause your
they're
pasta
supposed to
doesn't
fit
stick out.
small
Yeah.
because they're trying to keep you warm. But it's a sweatshirt. It's great.
You wearing feminine stuff isn't shocking.
Feminine stuff. A crew neck sweatshirt is feminine.
The
No, it
one that
means you're in
DeMarco
shape.
was wearing this morning was definitely.
That
It
was
said
a little
Los
bit.
Angeles Rams on it.
But it,
But
like, it was,
there was a fabric element
a
to
fabric
it.
and a
looks
color,
really
right?
soft.
color of it.
Wait,
Yeah,
do you
it
wear
shows
them?
a fashion beacon.
If
right
we're
here.
in the world of crew necks, that was a feminine crew neck.
Everybody's
crew
wearing
necks
something
on
free,
their
and we're
own
talking
are
about
not
fashion.
themselves feminine, is what I'm getting at.
That's fine. I'll give you that.
I mean, if we're going to talk about fashion in here,
worst
Chris
people.
probably does have the best fashion sense
Yes, he is.
out of anybody.
In
in
suits.
here.
Yes.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
suits.
in the suiting
But
world.
I also know I'm not going to wear a crew neck sweatshirt based on my body type.
Yeah.
It's not
In the-
going to look good on me.
In the casual luxury world,
You don't think Brian
I'm telling
looks
you,
good?
crew necks get a lot done.
You don't
I think Brian would look better if that sweatshirt was a hoodie.
just if everything the same, but there was a hood on it.
It's not the same. It's how it's cut.
Yeah,
it's the
they're
design.
two different things.
They
Crew
are,
necks
they
are,
are, they
and
are.
here's one thing I will tell you. Crew necks are hard to get right. The number of crew necks I bought, immediately wore it once. I was like, no, I can't wear this. This is not going to work because the way that
They're
the
very
waist,
boxy
the
by
way,
design.
The way the waist operates, or the way he's right about that. It's
Palinka
hard,
can do crew necks.
It's hard to get it
Well,
right.
he's a thin guy.
It's
he can
hard
do
to
that.
get it right in terms of the way the actual
Funches.
garment feels
Funches for
on you.
sure.
Funches might be a little too skinny for the crew neck.
He might be
Brian,
too
you do
skinny
whatever
for a
you
lot
want.
of
That's
things.
like, that thing looks like a parachute
Your
on it.
bolts can do whatever
But
they
he's
want.
here, so that's all that
Fair.
matters.
That's fair. I'm here.
Wow, this show.
Anyway, I'm
Yeah,
just
why are
saying.
you here? No,
I'm just
Lakers
killing
don't.
time. I'm going to go on political rampage tonight, so I'm killing time.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm going to go have dinner at 5 somewhere in the L.A. area. And then, I don't know.
You gonna go
Somewhere
vote?
in the LA area?
I already voted, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, good.
I already voted. I went to my spot, voted for everybody,
Nice.
and I said, "Hey, everybody."
You also strike me as somebody that might volunteer at the polls, like a Morales, or somebody that has family
He's-
that
No,
does that.
I'm
He's
not gonna
volunteering at the polls to get to the highness.
That's fair. It's not a bad reason. Just saying. What did you want to ask? me,
Kind of
Brad?
highness.
So I did want. Are you guys done for that? Can I go over to
Probably,
the one?
go ahead.
Yeah. It's not really that important, but you, if out of everybody here, I think you know what it is. They both turn off their microphones real fast.
Okay.
Do you know what a squatchy is?
No.
Oh, you don't? I'm actually
Brian
surprised by
does.
that.
I might know it as
You
another
never heard of
name.
it. You don't know?
Do I know it as
Brian
something
did it on.
else?
Brian did it on one of his tapes on Friday night.
That was Furbies?
So,
Hey, I was like, first of all, I might know it by another name.
I don't know what another name for it is because
Squatty potty?
My not squatty potty, squatchy. So my Dodgers World Series hat. It lost the top little button on the top. That little top thing up there. Take your hat off. At the
Yeah,
top,
no, I get it.
That is a squatchy. Do you
Who
know
made
what,
that word up?
That's what it is online. That's what it's called. It's a squatchy, whatever it is. Where do you get another squatchy? How do you get that fixed?
You get them.
I feel like you would
I
know
can
it of
tell you this.
anybody.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
a
see?
hat, at
See,
hat
you can tell me.
Hold
I
on,
knew
at
it.
hat
Yeah, that thing you're
manufacturer.
But
touching.
how does it attach?
It attaches
flips
because
right off.
it's the part that okay. It's the
Is
part
it
that keeps
sewn
the,
in?
the seams.
you go to
yes,
lids?
It keeps the seams of the hat like that are on the inside together, and then you put the panels on the outside. That's why 5 panels don't have squatchies because I can't believe I'm using that word so quickly. But
So
5
easily.
panels don't have them.
Are you
because they're
sure
not
it's a squatchy?
coming
Because
together.
right here it says a term associated with a Bigfoot logo.
No, that's Sasquatch.
Yeah,
Squatchy. Squatchy
it's just a
means-
button.
Spell it right.
It's just
Beto
a
should have
button.
been allowed to vote today.
Yeah, because it's the only
Voted
button on
twice.
the cap, so there's no reason for
No, you
another
didn't.
name.
Vote
for
twice
it.
where you can.
No, he
Vote early and vote often.
That's the Mandy
Can't do
slogan.
that.
Yes, exactly.
So okay.
You need to replace it.
I need
Go
to
a
replace.
Liz.
I have
Go to
my.
Lids.
Yeah,
Just buy
go to
a
Liz.
new hat.
You were the
No,
one
it was,
that.
it was
hold
a
on.
World Series hat. I got
Hold
it
on.
from the stadium.
You
Lids.
said Lids would be the company that
Yes.
you would have a lifetime supply
Yeah.
from. Go to your local Lids and just ask for one. Do not call it a squatch.
Can I get it online?
Just point to it.
I gotta go
No,
to an
because
actual
you're,
store?
you're going to want them to put it on there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
seems
reason
like that's
why
not something you wanna do at home.
Go, yeah, that's not right.
Because I went to other hats that had because
How
it's
did you
white
lose
too.
this?
I don't know. I came into work one day and it was just
You went
off.
to a swap meet.
Maybe it was defective.
No, I bought it from the stadium, top of the park.
It was
your
defective.
championship hat.
My
lost
championship
that?
hat.
Your championship one or the one that has the World Series?
It has World Series
I
logo
know why
on
that
the
thing
side.
fell off. Maybe because they made them overnight in Bangladesh to try to get them here right on time.
Are you saying that the
And they're-
Dodgers are going to Bangladesh for their hats?
Yes.
I mean, God forbid they do. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like they had them just sitting there. You know what I mean? There would have been no reason
So
to.
frustrating.
Had to fill the demand
Now
somehow.
there's little pokey things coming out the top.
no.
It's very
That's a
frustrating.
disaster.
Just buy a new hat.
No,
They're not going to
again,
give you a new button.
That's like a $60 hat.
Yeah, but they're not going to have one that matches.
You're working board op games. You can get another hat. You got money.
I had
That's one shift, right?
We're not getting paid for that.
So I bought the beanie, the World Series beanie, the same day because we were at the same game.
Yep.
And the little pom pom thing was spewing out too.
Yeah,
so
those-
maybe it's because it was very.
I hate when it
effective,
spews
right?
out like that.
There's a production. Especially after the squatchy. There's all sorts of production issues when you rush things from
I'm done
championship
today.
levels. It's true.
No, too bad. So that's a squatchy, and I knew that you
I don't
would
like
have an
that
answer.
word, though.
What's wrong with the word?
It's just it's too
That's the name
goofy
of it.
for
I don't
something
know what you're
that
trying to
already
tell me.
has a name. It's a button. Like,
It's
why do
also
I-
known
But there's
as-
so many other things that are buttons. That's
on
it's
hats?
specifically.
How
that
many-
is
do you
specifically
have a
the
hat with more
squatchy.
than one
You're
button?
going to start saying squatchy now.
No,
I
you
see
have
it.
those
It's going to
Elmer-
happen.
you have those
You're
Elmer
going to go
Fudd
around
hats?
the horn and you're going to say, "I need a new squatchy."
Never. Do
By
you
the way,
have a
Sedano, we just call it the horn.
yeah?
I was
No, we
gonna
just call
say
it
the
horn.
horn.
We just call it horn.
Do you have a hat with more than one button? Are you Elmer Fudd? No, you don't.
No, probably
so there's
not.
no reason to not just call
But
it
it's
a
not
button.
but it's not a button.
Yes, it
So
is.
it's called the top button,
Thank
but
you.
can also be called squatcho or squatch E with two E's.
Yeah, there you go.
They
Squatch.
covered
Yeah,
by
that's-
the same
that's-
fabric.
That's a goofy word.
In other words,
Squatchy.
get a new hat.
Yeah, that's
They're
exactly.
I'm not buying any new
They're gonna
hat.
look at you and say,
Pop
"Really,
down
bro?"
an extra 60 bones.
No, I don't want to do that.
It's
I
gonna
want to get a
cost
new
you that much-
squatchy.
It's going to cost you that
put
much
the new
to get.
squatchy on.
It's going to cost you that much to do that anyway.
Anyway,
It
so
is.
no matter what, I'm going to get a new squatchy.
I haven't done my hair in about a month
Yeah.
since I was at a wedding, and I got to really be honest.
Feeling good about that?
I think so,
got
and
it.
I think I'm going to go
Hats
to
are
the
great.
I think I'm going to go to the Pete Rose look, where he was doing dress shirts. Like I'll get monochromatic shirts made, where you have the white collar, the white cuffs,
still have the
and then
fit.
just do white baseball hats.
I don't think you'd be.
The dress hat, the Sunday hat. Yeah.
The
You don't want to be
dress hat.
associated with Pete Rose at this point.
That's a good point.
I mean, he's the
That's a
hit
good
king.
point. But
It's more than the hit
also,
king.
that look also gives off big. I hang out in casinos and
Yes,
card shows a lot.
Absolutely.
Which is the vibe.
I will sign your card if you
100%,
want me
yeah.
to. If you
So
give me
what's the problem?
$25.
Yeah, exactly. No problems at all.
Loafers,
No.
Yeah, oh,
jeans,
definitely
no
my
socks.
loafers,
That
yeah.
is funny.
All right, what do you want to do next? Do
Ferragamos.
you want to do anything with the Raiders? Do you want to go back to the Lakers, talk some more Dodgers, or just kind of mess
Where's
around?
Mason?
Mason, we can talk about that. We'll see. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
where
where
are the
Mason
guys?
is, what
Yeah.
Mason is doing.
We'll do that.
Yates, Bergman, we got Morales and Beto here.
Vote
That's all
twice,
coming
people.
up
Vote
next.
twice.
After a 3-0 loss in Vancouver, the Black and Gold find themselves in a do-or-die match Friday night.
We have no one to blame but ourselves, and we will look to correct those mistakes this week in training and try to finish out the series on Friday.
A spot in the Western Conference semifinals is on the line in a decisive Game 3 at BMO Stadium.
We know our fans are amazing, and we're going to do everything we can to bring a win at home and move on to the next round.
Los Angeles Football Club versus Vancouver Whitecaps. Pre-game begins Friday night at 7 p.m. on the ESPN LA app.
Hey, football fans, there is nothing sweeter than a cold glass of Stella Rosa and watching your team compete. But Stella Rosa wants to make it even sweeter and hook you up with the chance to win an experience to the biggest game of the college football season. You could win 2 tickets to the game, airfare, and a hotel for you and a friend. Head over to ESPNLADreamTicket.com to enter the Dream Ticket Sweepstakes presented by Stella Rosa, America's favorite semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wine. Please celebrate responsibly. Must be 21 or older to enter.
And I mean no one messes around with Avner Gatt and his team. Call Avner Gatt, 818-917-5256. 818-917-5256 or visit avnergatt.com. That's AVNERGAT, avnergatt.com. You call Avner Gatt, 818-917-5256. Avner takes the call himself. Hello!
ESPN LA and Beverly Hills Ortho are teaming up because we want to know who's smiling in SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. Could be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, or you could nominate yourself. You could win prizes like sweet tickets, Sonic Care electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, or the grand prize, Invisalign. Enter now at ESPNLA.com. And remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Ortho.
Tree. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It'll be popping, isn't it? Go be popping off in the city of Pico Rivera. 2:34 in the Southland Live Imaging Tuesday. On this election day, be sure to vote. The polls close at 8. We elect a new president tonight, which you can't say happens all the time.
No.
No.
Quadrennial.
Yeah.
You like that word?
That is a
Squatchy
big
McDougal over there.
I like Squatchy. We're going to talk about it. By the by, fun fact, that's called Squatchy.
Like, well, you've got the whole script. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like something a name a kid would make up for like a doll they had. That's what it sounds like. You know, this
like
is
one
my
of those
Squatchy.
dolls where you have to point at it, or
No, like the ones you sleep
Oh,
with. Goodness gracious, man! I'm trying to keep us out of the gutter, and this guy.
He's watching SVU last
That's
night.
never going to happen.
Actually, you're not far off.
That's a great show.
It's
It
always
is.
on, yeah.
It is always on.
NCIS too.
And the actress, what's her name?
Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska.
Do you realize how much money she has?
Oh my God.
She's been on that for 30 years.
Yeah. She's retiring,
She's
isn't she?
loaded. Oh no, don't
She's
tell me
retired
that.
many times.
Yeah.
Then she comes back. And what's his name? The other guy. The guy who was in Oz.
Oh,
The
Stabler?
actor.
yeah. I don't know his
Then
name.
he'll come back. They'll fall in love. Then he leaves again. It's a
Yeah,
whole thing.
Stabler.
Yeah.
Stabler, right? That's his name.
Now, I know the whole
Christopher Maloney.
characters.
He was
Yeah,
in
Christopher Maloney,
He
yeah.
was in Wet Hot American Summer. That's how I know him.
Ice-T.
He was,
Ice-T's been
he
on
was
there
the cook.
forever, too.
He was the
Yeah,
cook.
yeah.
My sweaters are talking to me. I'm talking to my sweaters. I'm fondling my sweaters. Excuse me. That's a
Speaking
Morales
of sweater
Morales.
fondling, Sedano and Cap coming up around 3 o'clock. Beto's here.
Beto's here.
I'm just killing time.
Beto's killing time. Greg, what are we doing?
We're just going to tell you where Mason was. So basically, his whole thing is that he's been working every day since like August or something like that. So he decided he was
That
going to
can't
take.
be true.
That's exactly what he said. So I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but he has worked a lot of days in a row.
Okay.
For someone that can take as many days off
Turn
as
my
he
mic
really
off.
wants to. But either way, that's why he's not here today, because he was supposed to take a couple days off before the World Series, but if the Dodgers were in the World Series, he wanted to go all the way through, and then he took Monday and Tuesday off to get a little bit of a rest. So that's where our friend Steve Mason.
But then he missed being able to talk about probably one of the best Rams victories for sure this season.
I would say
that and the Niners win, and he's missed it now. And it's sad for him.
Well, that's why it's his
He'll
show.
come
I'm
back-
sure he'll discuss it in some
Yeah,
regard.
he'll
upon
come
his
back
return.
tomorrow. He'll talk
You think
about
he
it.
watched the game on Sunday?
Not
Yeah.
a chance.
You don't think so?
100% he did.
No.
100%.
Why not?
Because he didn't have to work on Monday.
I thought he was a season ticket holder.
Road
But it
game.
was,
Yeah,
it
the
was
game
up
was in Seattle.
Road game.
But my point is his interest level being
Right.
enough that he would be watching each week.
Please.
There
That's
are
not-
times when Steve Mason does not watch games. However, if it's a Rams game, he watches every one of them.
And he'll take next Monday off because it's Monday Night Football.
Right.
So he'll be ready.
No,
to
he'll be here till 3:15. Actually, he's going to want to leave early so he can get to the game since it's at SoFi.
Wow.
Good for, hey, he gets a lot of vacation. He takes a lot of vacation. Good
I
for,
heard that
he's
before.
Earned it.
That's
He's earned it.
30 years on. He's going
I'm
to
not
get his
complaining.
7-8
I
weeks
was
of
just
vacation.
unfamiliar with the.
I just thought he was going to be in
I'm a
Hawaii.
season ticket holder, but I don't watch the team play
No,
every
it's
week.
true. Listen, he's
That's
worked hard.
Yes,
to
he's
me.
earned it all.
He's worked hard for the 20 years, and it's, he's rewarded on that.
Yeah, he has a good agent.
Yeah, I literally just
Anybody want to be
assumed-
my agent?
Just assume
Anybody?
he was going to be watching
No.
the Rams.
Just call him
Brian,
up instead of
Week
making fun of him. Call him up and get his agent on the line.
No, his agent.
Obviously, he's a good agent.
Yeah,
His
y'all-
agent's boss is Scott McCarthy. Scott.
It's true.
Oh, is it really?
It is.
Oh, hey, Scotty.
Wow.
Greg, I have an update for you.
Put your hand in the post, baby. Let's go.
We
All
have
right,
an
hold
update.
on. We have an update. Laura, what you got?
So, Kobe Forever, I don't know his Twitter handle or whatever, He said, I worked at Lids for 5 years during college. As recent as 2019, they do not have those there. So the little...
Oh, you can't get a skadoosh there?
2019.
Not a skadoosh, a squatchy.
Not
A squatchy.
Yeah.
They
got squadoosh in the squatchy
one.
department.
I got to find a place to get the squatchy.
Hold on,
I'll figure it out.
He said he worked there as
No, I'm not
recently
buying
as
a new one.
2019.
That's 5 years ago.
2019.
That's not recent.
People think
At
it's
all.
recent because pandemic took 3 years.
Yeah,
Pre-pandemic is definitely not recent.
I recently ran the board. We used to have a thing called reel to reel. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, man.
We used to have TVs at work.
Reel to reel. Let's talk about the TVs.
Real to real.
2019 is not recent. I'm sorry.
None of that's recent.
Well,
No
tell
world.
Kobe that.
Well,
We just did.
fine.
Okay, good.
This guy, Toy Wilson's telling me to go to Milton Eddies. Have you ever been to Milton Eddies? Sorry,
Yeah.
Milton Eddies.
In
They
Toluca
probably do
Lake.
it.
It's a
Yeah,
great-
Toluca Lake. It's
Oh,
open
great dry
24
cleaner.
hours. This place
On
is
Pass
amazing.
Avenue.
Yep, on Pass. It's a giant pink building, but they will do. You can take one. You can take all your stuff in, and you can get it all worked out the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. It's always 24 hours. The place is great.
By the way,
Milton
I need
Eddies.
to call out my cleaners. I love them in Orange County, but here's the problem.
Uh-oh.
I've been going there for years, since I moved back to Orange County 2018. Kona Cleaners. Is it Kona? It's Kona Cleaners.
Recent,
You tell me.
2018.
Yeah.
I take a lot of dress
That's
shirts in
funny.
there. They're always laundered. They're not dry cleaned. You don't dry clean most dress shirts unless it's a specific design or specific. You launder them. You can look at my history. You know to launder them.
You launder then press them.
Yes, of course
Yeah.
they press them. 3 weeks ago, I took dress shirts in there. I could walk in to pick them up, and I did it on the app. So they'll have them ready for me when I just walk in, take them. The bill was triple, and I'm like, what the heck? And it said dry clean. It's like, I didn't say dry clean, but I thought, okay, it was a new person. I'm not going to make a big deal. So
You
I
just
just
say,
paid
"Hey,
it.
can you?"
I just paid it. I left. Again, I drop off shirts. I specifically say to the person, these are for laundry. Okay, no problem, sir. Cool. They did it again. This time I went in there.
Same person?
I think it might be. And I said, what happened? Why are 5 of these dry cleaned? One is laundered. Oh, they dry cleaned them. I go, how did they decide which one to dry clean? They're all dress shirts. Oh, I'll put in your file that we'll just do laundry. I said, yeah, let me see the file. I want to watch you put it in. You're doing come on. Why are you scamming me?
Okay, hold on.
Why are you scamming me?
Is it
Beto, have you had
possible-
that? You're a dress shirt guy.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Right?
And
Is
it's
it
the place that you've been
possible?
loyal to for many, many
I've
years.
been loyal to Kona Cleaners in Orange.
And then they tripled the charge and didn't even tell you.
To dry clean.
Hold on, though.
Not launder
This
my
is a
shirts,
new
but dry
person,
clean.
as you
These
know.
gutless bum suckers. Did they do this to me on
How
election day? No
old
less.
is this person?
No, this was a younger person.
Is it possible that there is what I'll just call a literacy component that is in between the task being
I
achieved?
didn't decide to work at the dry cleaner, so the person training them obviously is incompetent too.
Okay. I'm just saying. Are they operating in their native tongue? I'm being serious here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I work at a dry cleaner, I should know the native tongue.
No. Yes. I'm not
That's-
saying
that's
that.
not
But
always
is it
true,
possible
though.
that this person who's not a primary English speaker, perhaps?
Oh, I
and
get where you're
did
going
not
now. I get where
write
you're going.
down on your file what you want.
No,
literally.
they know how to charge triple. They're all right.
It's all on
Brian,
the
can I get
computer.
the breaking news sounder? Breaking news for me, Brian.
Scumbags at Kona
Could be in
Cleaners.
play. I'm just saying.
Danny Felix in the YouTube chat. Greg Bergman,
boy.
I own a hat store.
Oh,
I'm
heck.
sending you a button. Ventura and
A white
Camarillo,
one.
2 stores. He's sending it to you,
But
Bergman.
how are you going to install it?
I'll find some way to install
I
it.
think
But
it's
a white
staple
one.
it up.
I need a white
He's gonna
squatchy,
use-
Danny.
where's
Thank you,
the
Squatcho
Danny.
Gate has been solved.
You don't have a special squatchy maker or whatever?
No,
like
no,
a,
you just
a
stick
squatchy
it on
connector?
and just squeeze it
It
together.
doesn't have
you know?
a separate name? The scoochie?
Where is the hat shop?
Yeah, go to the hat shop.
A shop in Ventura
No, I'll just
and
go to Milton
Camarillo.
Eddies. I'll just go to Milton Eddies.
Hold on.
Yeah,
He's
this guy's
offering
offering
you.
you.
You go to his
I have to-
shop, bro.
He's
Yeah.
sending one here.
Are we sending one here?
Yes.
Hey, Danny, I
Split the
appreciate you.
difference.
A
See, the
white
YouTube chat
squatchy,
can
please.
be productive.
Make sure it's
At
white,
times.
though,
How
right?
do you make money these days with a hat shop?
I don't, Liz is
hats are
making money. They've been
$60.
doing it for a while.
So people are getting their hats fixed?
You wear hats
no,
all the
please.
time. All the
I
same
understand. I'm
hats.
not going to the hat shop to get it fixed.
Danny Clutch. Nobody
I'm not
is.
getting it tuned up. Hey, guys, can you tune up my
Most
hat?
tighten up my
Can you
breath
fix my
here.
propeller? Let's go.
Most people will not. They'll just throw away
Cam
the hat.
Newton's keeping
I
guys
like
in
the hat.
business.
I want to keep the hat. I'll get a new squatchy. We're
He
gonna
got
have
it
this
at game 1. It has
Yes,
memories.
there's
here.
memories
There's
behind it.
great-
I don't want a
If
new
I would
one.
have brought you down the Delamo Indoor, man, you'd have everything you need right now.
Delamo.
Let's
See,
go right off the
you did not
710.
yet, so we got to do that. All
All
right,
right, bye, guys.
Jacob and Ronnie's in the other room. That means that we have Game of Games coming up.
My game,
next.
kiddos.
Clinton
Get
Yates.
ready to learn something.
All right, Clinton Yates, Greg Bergman. That's all coming up next.
No, I'm not.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Hey, it's Travis here for Prize Picks. You know Prize Picks by now, right? Pick more, pick less. It really is that easy. Why not take what is some of the best times of the year? You got baseball, basketball, football, hockey, everything you can think of, and make it even better with Prize Picks. All you have to do is pick more or less. And right now, you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. There's a reason that Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your favorite players gets injured. And if your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup alive. So why not join Prize Picks? It is the absolute best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users, including me, and sign up today. Put in that promo code 710 when you sign up, and you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey guys, it's Cappy. You've heard me talk about my personal situation with my divorce and subsequent custody battle in the past, and I know that you need a team behind you to get the justice you deserve. My friend Mark Reel and his team at Real Fathers Rights are here to help you guys. Visit realfathersrights.com/710. That's REEL. realfathersrights.com/710 or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights. The Father's Rights Attorneys.
Hey guys, John Ireland here. To build a winning team, you have to have the right people doing what they do best. If you're in a position to hire for your business, listen closely, because we have the ultimate teammate, ZipRecruiter. And you can try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Hiring the right candidate is hard. ZipRecruiter uses powerful matching technology to quickly find and send you the most qualified people. So it makes finding and hiring your next superstar much easier. This is why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So be like the 3.8 million businesses who have come to ZipRecruiter and sped up their hiring process. Try ZipRecruiter today for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. One more time, ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mason today, but it's Big CY's game, and also Jacob Emrani is here. What's going on, Jacob?
Feeling good, feeling good.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about with you after Game of Games, but we're going to get into all that. CY, what you got today?
All right, let's get to it. It's Election Day, which means all of these questions will be about presidents or people that ran for president and something related to sports. Number one, we'll start locally. Richard Nixon, the 37th president of the United States. Oh, by the by, name is your buzzer. Multiple choice.
Name is your buzzer.
Multiple choice. Get it together, y'all.
Wait, name is together, multiple choice.
Yes.
All right, okay.
Name to get.
I mean, or do we not need to do it that way?
No,
you pick the best way.
Just do multiple choice and we'll go around.
All right, that's even better. Fine.
Okay.
I was just going to say. Richard Nixon, the 37th,
I got you, Jacob.
The 37th president of the United States, somewhat famously played football for Whittier College here in California, home of the Poets. What number did he wear on the team? A, 11, B, 12, C, 13, or D, 14? Jacob, we'll start with you.
I'll go with 11.
Laura.
I'll go with 12.
Brian.
Give me 13.
I'll do 14.
The answer is B, 12.
12. That was Laura.
Fun fact, no, he never got a letter. He wasn't that good, but he was a scrapper. His coach, Wallace Newman, said in 1969 regarding his role on the team.
By the way, I got a by the by and a fun fact in that sentence.
Even better. You're learning. Number 2, Gerald Ford, the 38th president of the United States, was a Michigan man, having played center and linebacker for the Wolverines in the early 30s. They won 2 national titles during that time, and he eventually went on to bypass the NFL for Yale Law School, and after that, the rest is history. Where was Gerald Ford born? A, Grand Rapids, Michigan. B, Greenwich, Connecticut. C, Omaha, Nebraska. Or D, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Laura.
Last one.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yep.
Brian.
C, Nebraska.
I say Nebraska also. Jacob.
I will go with Grand Rapids.
The answer is C, Omaha, Nebraska. The only reason I even know
Greg
that
and
fact is
Brian.
because there's a sign on the side of the road in Omaha, and his family just randomly lived there for like 6 months. And that's
You were
where he
just
was
there
born.
for College World Series,
That's
right?
where I'm there every
Yep.
year, so that's how we know that. Number 3, speaking of Yale guys, George W. Bush, who was once part owner of the Texas Rangers but won no World Series in his time, well, he was well known as a cheerleader when he was an undergrad. But what year did he sell his share of the big league club? The Rangers, that is. A, 1998, B, 1999, C, 2000, or D, 2001?
Brian.
2000.
I'm going to say 1999. Jacob.
I will go with 1999 as well.
Laura.
99.
Oh, sorry, kiddos. The answer is A, 1998. It brought him
we were close.
over $15 million in profit from an investment of $800,000. That is a big turn. Number 4.
Currently, the score is Greg 1, Laura 1, Brian 1, Jacob. You got to get one. You're right. Only one back.
Number 4. Barack Obama, the 44th president of the United States, had a longtime personal aide named Reggie Love. Reggie Love played basketball at Duke for Mike Krzyzewski. In 2001, the Blue Devils won a men's national championship in hoops. Who did they beat in the final game? A, UConn. B, Michigan State. C, Kansas. Or D, Arizona?
So in 2001? Okay, it's me first. I'm going to say Arizona. Jacob.
I will go with Michigan State.
Laura.
I'll go with UConn.
Brian.
Give me Kansas.
Oh, Gregory got that right.
That's
D,
right.
Arizona.
Yep.
Fun
I
fact,
actually remember that.
UConn has never lost in a men's
Weird.
national
Good for you.
championship
All right.
game.
All
And
right.
also, Reggie Love also played football at Duke. He was a wide receiver. Number 5, Dwight D. Eisenhower was not just the man nicknamed Chief Ike. He was also a football player, playing on the defensive side of the ball. And as a legend, he played against the other legend named Jim Thorpe. Unsurprisingly, Chief Ike played at Army. What conference are the Dark Knights in right now? A, Conference USA. B, the American Athletic Conference. C, the Mid-American Conference. Or D, are they independent?
Jacob.
I will go with B.
Alrighty.
I'll go with D.
Brian.
Yeah, the American Athletic Conference.
I'll go independent.
Oh, American Athletic Conference is correct.
Who got
Brian.
that? Brian got that
Brian and Jacob got that one.
what I'm talking
Fun
about.
fact,
Brian,
yet
on the
again,
board, Jacob.
Pick that B.
the it's got to work out sometime. The Army-Navy game, sidebar, does not actually count towards the official college football polls. Number 6, the man who lost to Nixon went by the name of Hubert H. Humphrey. The former Hubert H. Humphrey Dome was named after the former mayor of Minneapolis, and it used to be where the Vikings of the NFL and the Twins of Major League Baseball played. What does the H in Hubert Humphrey's middle name stand for?
Hans.
Okay, you're out instantly. No, you're out. A, Horatio. B, Harold. C, Howard. Or D, Henry.
Okay, Laura goes first.
Harold.
Brian.
Give me Howard.
Give me Henry. Jacob.
I will go with Henry as well.
None of you guys got it right.
Horatio?
You don't watch enough CSI Miami. It is absolutely Horatio.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Horacio.
I've seen.
Fun fact about the Metrodome, it is the only place that has ever hosted an All-Star game for Major League Baseball, a Super Bowl, an NCAA Final Four, and a World Series.
How many are left?
3.
3 left. Okay.
7,
so
8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10. Excuse me, 4 left.
4 left. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Number 7. If you're noticing a theme here, it's 5 presidents and then the guys they lost to. Number 7. The man who Ford lost to when he had finally run for office himself, Jimmy Carter, sort of a flip there, who was still with us at age 100. He was commander-in-chief when the U.S., along with plenty other countries, decided to boycott the 1980 Olympics. The question is, they were in Russia, you might remember, who won gold in men's basketball during that Olympiad? A, Australia, B, Russia, C, Yugoslavia, or D, Czechoslovakia?
Brian.
Give me Russia.
Yugoslavia. Jacob.
I will go with Russia as well.
Laura.
Australia.
C, Yugoslavia.
Yep.
Lead pipe lock. Fun fact, the 1980 Olympics marked the second time and the second in a row that the U.S. men's national team did not win the gold medal in the Olympics.
Weirdly enough. All right,
Weird
3 left.
stuff.
I got to go first. Greg 3, Jacob 1, Laura 1, Brian 2.
Number 8, the man who lost to W, also went to the same college. His name was John Kerry. What sport did the 68th Secretary of State earn a varsity letter in playing in undergrad? A, lacrosse, B, soccer, C, baseball, or D, basketball?
Give me lacrosse. Jacob.
I have to go against you. Can you give me the...
A, lacrosse, B, soccer, C, baseball, D, basketball?
I will go with basketball.
All right.
Laura.
Soccer.
Brian.
Give me baseball.
B, soccer.
Ding, ding, ding.
He
ding.
also played hockey and
soccer?
junior
I did.
varsity. He played lacrosse and hockey at the junior varsity level. All right, 2
So
more.
you're not out yet. There's 2 more. You're only 2 back.
All right. Thank you for giving me hope.
The man who lost to Obama goes by the name of Mitt Romney. He's currently a senator from Utah. He was once also the governor of Massachusetts, but he was an integral part of the organizing committee for the 2002 Winter Olympics. He helped land the Salt Lakes game. What team won gold in men's ice hockey this year? Shouts to the Kings, who got a win on the road last night. A, Sweden. B, Russia. C, Finland. Or D, Canada?
I'm going to say Canada. Let's go with Brian.
Finland.
Laura.
Canada.
And Jacob.
Russia.
The answer is Canada, D. Fun
okay.
fact, Canada also won gold in the women's ice hockey that year, and they beat the Americans in both.
Yeah, Canada really, really good at that point. Sorry, Jacob, you're out.
Thank you.
Brian, you are out. It's between me and Laura. 1 left, right? Do you have a
One
tiebreaker?
left.
Do you have
One
a tiebreaker?
left. No, we don't need
Okay.
a tiebreaker.
So it's between me and you, Laura, and then you have to go different than me.
Okay, cool.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. The man who lost to Chief Ike, Adley Stevenson II, was a NARP, a non-athletic regular person, for those of you who don't know what that term means. But he was born in Los Angeles. He went to Princeton. In 2023, the Princeton men's basketball team made the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2017. How many games did they win in the tournament? A, 0, B, 1, C, 2, or D, 3?
Oh, shoot. I'm going to go with 1. Laura.
2.
I think it is 2.
The answer is 2. They made the Sweet 16. And fun fact, Craig Robinson, brother of the former Michelle Robinson, who we know as Michelle Obama now,
That's right.
he played at Princeton.
Former Oregon State head coach as well.
Yes, exactly right. So there we go.
We don't have a tiebreaker?
There's no need for a tiebreaker.
Well, now we're tied. Laura and I
you
are
tied?
tied.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I'll just make one up off the top of my head.
A number-based thing.
Let's see. 3, 2, 1. George W. Bush also, let me see if I can make this up off the top of my head.
What year was he born?
I can't remember this. No, I'll just say, what is my favorite show on television right now?
We need a number base.
No, it's
Sports
not
Center. B,
Sports Center is my
PTI. C, Around the Horn. Or D, KTLA News.
Pick one. Go ahead.
I don't even
I
know
already
what
said
the
Sports
option-
Center, which is not right, so you can go ahead.
PTI.
No, it's just Around the Horn.
That's correct. And the only reason it's
Oh.
Around the Horn or PTI is because it was the anniversary.
Laura, you get
of
the win.
22
Okay.
years
Congratulations.
on Around the Horn. I thought Laura
Appreciate
won that anyway. She had a better effort as far as I'm concerned. So.
Damn.
She made better guesses. She made educated guesses because she had to go behind you a couple times. So, Laura,
Yeah,
that's a
because
good
I was
win.
getting them right.
Exactly. So,
All right.
Whatever,
either way.
I'll take the win.
That's a good win. Presidential
Game-
sports trivia.
Game
Thank
of
you
Games
very
brought
much.
to you by the law office of Jacob and Ronnie. Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. All right, so Jacob, you have something really, really cool going on. You're in Call of Duty?
So, very exciting. We are doing a collab with Call of Duty Black Ops 6, their game. They reached out to us and asked if they can pretty much mimic our billboard.
The ones upside down.
All billboards.
Oh, all billboards.
Yes, the real deal billboards that we have.
The big yellow ones.
Correct. And they have the replacer who is in Black Ops 6. And he's replacing me, basically. So he's me on all of their billboards. And they told me that I can go and play Black Ops on my spare time. So now that I've been, replaced, I get to play Black Ops.
That
Do you
is
have
awesome.
spare time, first of all?
Let's be clear. He walked in. He was like, we could talk about this. We could talk about that. He goes, oh, and by the by, I'm in the new Black Ops. We were like, what? Shut down the show. That is way more interesting than these other things. That is really cool. Congratulations, Jacob.
Appreciate it. And it's cool because, what we're doing is running a contest right now. We're giving away 10 digital, is that what they call it? Digital games, Black Ops games for people who go to our Instagram and, they play the game, and, it's exciting because, this is opening up my eyes to a lot of gamers, people that I did not know much about. My kids play, but now I'm getting to know a lot of great people who are gamers.
So now Lakers, Rams, LAFC, and Black Ops.
Face Clan. No,
Face Clan, pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Listen, you got to hustle, right?
Yeah, you do. That's awesome. Good for you,
Appreciate
Jacob. Really
it.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks you very much for coming in. Appreciate it. Let's go to the Super Stager.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason in Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
There he is. There he is,
Yeah.
Scott Kevin. And George Sedano here. You are all over the place. I don't know when you're here, when you're in. Where have you been? Where are you going?
I'm everywhere.
You are
I'm
everywhere.
global.
You're the
Right.
everywhere man.
Right.
Everywhere
Told you,
guy.
this radio studio cannot hold us down. We are all over the place. First of all, Gregory Arthur Bergman,
Yes.
great to be with you.
Love being
And
with you.
the big CY Clinton Yates.
What up?
My man.
How we doing, man?
Doing great. Now,
Yeah.
isn't it interesting, just by the way, that you and me, Clinton, were
Yes.
down in San Diego when the Padres were playing the Dodgers, and they were up 2-1. And
Again
people
with the
were-
Padres? The Dodgers won the World Series, and we're still talking about the
He's trying
Padres?
to talk about a good
gotta take a
hang.
shot.
He's talking about a good
Oh,
bro
my
hang.
God. Can't you just say I hung out with Clinton in San Diego? Why do we have to reference the Padres?
Well, because
Like,
it's
we
important
don't get
to-
enough Padres talk on this station? Like,
Hey, listen to me. If you don't stop right now, I'm going to start talking about the Cleveland Browns. You understand
no,
me?
that's worse.
You
Yeah,
got
that's
me?
worse.
If you don't
That's
stop.
definitely worse.
Better than
All right?
the Gardos.
Okay.
You
By
talk
the
about
way,
Gardos?
Lindsay got to the point on something where she's like tweeting Jameis stuff, and then like I was like, please, no one else respond and don't encourage her
Not engaged.
in the group text. And then of course they got throttled, so there was no more text after that.
But yes, we were in San Diego.
And just
Scott.
traded
Point
somebody,
was that night so many people thought that it was over for the Dodgers, and here we were last Friday. And I grant you today is Tuesday, but George and I were off the air
We've been
yesterday
off.
because of the Lakers.
Yeah.
Here we are, and Friday of last week was one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen. Because I really don't care where you're from. I don't care what team you root for. When you see a city celebrate, and when you see a city come together, you could be in L.A. and see it happen in Kansas City. You could be in Miami and see it happen in L.A. Friday was one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen. And let me tell you something. Our coverage on the radio station was out of this world.
Yeah, I caught a lot of it online. It was great.
Very excellent. Good job. Bergy was down
Thank you,
there
thank you.
mixing it up with all the people. My favorite moment from this, I mean, this wasn't even close. Not even close. Was Doc going bar for bar with Cube out there as his hype man?
Yeah,
I'm telling
which
you,
was cool.
that was as good as it gets. It very much had the vibe of Doc just went out there on his own volition. He wasn't part of the program.
He was just
He
ready to
wasn't
get
part
out
of the
there.
operation.
Right.
And none of the team was going to go out there with him. It was him to do it, and he nailed it. Cube kept it together. That was fun. That was frivolous. Fun and frivolity.
Well, and
Yeah,
you know
but
what
how to
else?
get morale to turn around,
Cappy,
but yeah.
Yeah.
Cappy, you were kind of complaining a little bit, didn't want to do it. Are you happy that you were a part of that 7 to 9
When
show
I
now?
when you say I was complaining, what I was saying was, look, everybody knows I was rooting for the Padres. I lost the bet to George. I put on the Elton John Dodger uniform. So I just didn't know if I was the right guy to be in that seat at that time.
That's fair.
But
You
now
know?
that you did it, how do you feel about it
Oh,
now?
no, I feel great about it because let me tell you something. Morales and I, on Friday morning, had a hell of a great time. Not to mention that between yourself and Travis and DeMarco, who were out on the streets early, and then a whole bunch of credit goes to our social media team.
They were great.
Because by following everybody around with about 30 cameras and being able to chime in to our YouTube, it set like all kinds of world records on YouTube, what happened on Friday.
Yeah, no, it was solid. Impressions were strong. I thought that it was also, for how we did it our way well. The idea of just going to folks on the street, what you got? Travis out there just yelling at guys in new jerseys, telling old guy numbers. That was also very funny, by the way, from a historical standpoint. I loved it.
You had interns that were climbing up on different things and like on different
That's
cars
what they're there
and
for.
trucks and things like
Right.
that. You know,
That's why they're interns.
That's why.
That's how you earn your stripes.
you got to be a little bit careful.
What I'm
at the same
saying
time.
is
You
that's
earn your
why,
stripes.
because they're
Right.
young enough to be able to recover from
Right.
such a situation
Yes.
were something to go awry.
I'm
Just
too old to be
saying.
climbing.
But you know
in
what
that stuff at
also
this
is
point.
funny is that Dave Roberts not just going out there with Ice Cube, but the fact that Dave was really the MC of the entire event.
Pretty much.
Was he
Yeah.
supposed to be, or did he just kind of took the mic and said, "I'm going to do
You
this"?
think Skip was getting told no by anybody?
No,
Right.
Who's going to
absolutely
tell
not.
him no?
Right.
Steve Nelson's not going to
Listen,
tell him no. Joe Davis ain't telling him no.
Considering everybody blames him for everything, he should have carte blanche to say whatever the bleep he wants for
Right.
the rest of eternity.
At
Right.
this point, he can say and do whatever he wants. He
Yeah.
is a
Wait,
god.
did
in
we
this city
destroy
now.
the second Morales bobblehead
It's
yet?
up
know
right
that.
behind
We haven't
you.
done it
That
yet.
It's
one.
hanging.
No,
There's one
no,
hanging.
that's the original.
Okay, that's the
original.
OG.
Trudell did that actually.
Gotcha.
Well, he hung it.
Yeah, he hung it.
I broke
No
it.
doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
How,
give up. Let's not break the Morales bobblehead quite yet.
Well, what are we going to do? I'm
well-
not here Thursday. You're here Thursday.
I
What are we supposed to
understand.
We gotta
do?
wait
It
till
next
spring-
week?
wanna wait till
Well,
spring training. And
Yeah.
I'm working on something that could potentially be like earth-shattering.
Oh, like Dave
Get-
Roberts
like
coming
getting
in
Dave.
studio?
That's what I
That
said
would be
earlier
amazing,
today. I
Kathy.
said
Yeah, if you
save
can
it
get
for Dave.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you can get Dave
get
to come
Dave-
in and do it, then I'll save it.
I said I was going to ask him if I got the chance to. So that
I mean, if not, Radio Michael could literally just send us another one, I'm sure.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
like 15 in his
Right,
garage right
right.
now.
How was
Yeah.
Horn? How was Horn today, George?
Horn was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was on?
We
with
were
you?
horning.
Who was on with you?
Who was on with me today? KB, Kevin Blackistone, the professor, Frank Isola, and Marcel Louis Jacques.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who is Marcel Louis Jacques?
Marcel
He's
Louis Jacques is
NFL beat writer.
for the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's it is
from
the
your
Dolphins.
neck
okay.
of the woods.
So is
Yeah,
it
he's from California though.
Oh. Was it all about the trade
He did
deadline?
the reverse Sedano.
Nice.
Went the other way. I got it. So was it about the NFL trade deadline and how it does,
It was
there's not
a lot
of
about
stuff
Monday
there?
Night Football. It was a lot about the trade deadline, and then we snuck in some college hoops and NBA.
Where are you on the decision not to go for two? Because Greg was.
Oh, it was the dumbest thing
apoplectic.
ever.
Thank you.
The dumbest thing
I was going
I was
after
okay with it.
DeMarco.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So dumb.
DeMarco and I were fine with it, but I see what you're saying.
DeMarco's
First of
like,
all,
you don't know these players.
Let's start with the fact that Patrick Mahomes is 8-2 in overtime in his career, so you're playing for overtime.
Yep.
Second of all, let's talk about the egregious nature of you calling timeout before
That
all
was
that.
a bigger issue.
Yeah,
I would say.
So you've put them in an even better position potentially. So there was so many mistakes, but yes, the rule of thumb is with about 30 seconds or left to go in the game, if you're going to go for the win, that's the time to do it.
Sure.
Okay? That's what the math says, that if you're going to do it, that's the time to do it. And if you're going to do it against a team, it's going to be that team because nobody has more muscle memory on how to win games late in this generation or this era, particular era of the NFL than that team.
Let me ask you this.
There are
Sedano.
certain
That's
guys.
Let me
That's
ask you
right.
this, Sedano.
I'll
Sorry.
go with that.
Scott, let me say this. Bowles, though, he's a former player. He's not exactly, I would say,
a conservative defensive coach like most of them?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he's not exactly non-traditional, but for who he is, I could very much see a scenario where he said, you know what? I need to see what these guys have in overtime. We're 4-4. It's not like there's going to be a big ton of difference in his mind from a win or loss standpoint, but the evaluation, I could see him being like, if this is a game we can't win in overtime, maybe this team's not that good because he's that kind of hard-ass in general.
Right. I get that, but that also puts a loss on his record and his job maybe.
I don't disagree.
That's
But
right.
I don't
Also,
disagree with that. But I
yeah.
think that's the mindset that a guy like that comes from because he's talked about things
But
like
if,
that before.
but if you get that win, if you go for 2 and you get it, you're 5-4. You're not 4-5, and you're one
in a
game
division
back.
that's winnable.
Right.
Yeah.
Atlanta's only 6-3.
think
You're
that's
right
what he
below
thinks. I
them.
think they believe that division is winnable.
At every point, it seemed like go for this win right here. When there's certain guys. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, you do not give them the ball at the end of the game like that.
The Chiefs, Greg, have basically become the previous iteration of the Patriots.
Yes, correct.
Where it's just the reverse. It was the defense for the Patriots first, that Brady was kind of like a caretaker, at least initially, and then the offensive explosion came, and then they had to go back to defense, actually, at the end. But this has been the reverse. They were the 45-point team. Now they're the defensive team that knows how to play close games.
Cappy, let me ask you this, though. If there was one situation in which you could have said, maybe now's when we can get Mahomes, it would have been non-contact ankle injury, wet field, sort of a long game. Is this the one time you would have, if you were to take only the Mahomes sample sizes, Scott, take every other player out of it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you took it just for the guy.
Right.
It makes sense to me that this would have been the time to make that choice.
Right. Because remember, when it was 17-10 and Mahomes threw that touchdown pass to tie the game, most of us thought he just tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
And so when you've got Mahomes down, you got to try and go for the win, because what you've seen is late last year in the playoffs, he had some sort of an ankle problem that they had to tape up, shoot up, and whatever else, and he was limping around even during the Super Bowl. That guy knows how to play in pain. I understand why people say, go for the tie, see what you can do in overtime. I totally disagree, because you have a chance to say to your team, we just knocked off the undefeated back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and that would have made more of a statement, in my opinion, Clinton.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm with George. With George. I think that if you're Todd Bowles, not only is it on your record, but if you wind up getting to the end of the year and ownership goes, you know what, we don't think he's the right guy, that win right there could have changed everything.
That's fair, but I think there is something that is just hardcore enough about Todd Bowles where he didn't care about that, which is weird. But
I hope he cares about the paycheck, because he ain't going to get many more if he continues to lose.
Big time hard guy.
And like obviously the Chiefs are 8-0. They're finally but they look like they're beatable. Aren't you a little bit more afraid of the Chiefs now, because they look beatable, but they're still 8-0? Like, this team terrifies me.
Again, they're not a perfect team, but they don't need to be perfect anymore, because they've been through so many of these situations that it doesn't scare you. Like, they are literally working off muscle memory. And they're not going to win them all. You know what I'm saying? But
they're gonna lose a game.
But more times than not, in those late game situations, they know exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, if they keep it close, they're going to end up winning that game, Cappy.
Right. I know. That's why going to overtime was just like waiting to lose.
Right.
It was.
I mean, that's what it felt like.
It's like waiting to exhale. You ever seen that movie? Probably not. It's not in your spectrum.
Is it a rom-com?
It is sort of.
Not quite a comedy.
It's rom.
It's rom-y?
It's rom.
But it's
very
on comedy.
rom.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
So my mother, she was a massive Whitney Houston obsessive person.
Yeah.
My parents got divorced like maybe a year or two before, or maybe like the same year that movie came out. I know every word of that soundtrack.
Because your mom watched it like 6,000
So
times?
she played the daggone tape in the car back to back to back, Tom Amansky style, for years.
Yeah.
I love Tom Amansky.
Years.
I'm a huge Tom Amansky fan.
You know who needs Tom Amansky? The New York Yankees.
Oh, yeah, they do. I mean, seriously, just to play fundamental baseball.
Correct. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I know every word of the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack.
And if you get Fred McGriff to walk in and actually advertise it to the New York Yankees,
Crime
I am Fred McGriff, and then he said, I want to talk to you about Tom. Remember, like he would read the script.
Fred's a nice guy. All right,
I'm not saying he's not a nice guy.
Okay.
I'm just saying he read the script with his name.
Yeah, he was more of a reading a prompter.
I know.
He had to read his name.
Fred is like an all-time nice guy. You'd be like, that guy, he looks like he bags groceries down the street.
Isn't he like 3 home runs away from 500 too?
I don't know, but like
It was
the
close.
Put him in.
It was very
He's the
close.
most
Somebody put him
affable
in.
Dude. He did get put in.
He did get into the Hall of Fame
That's how I
recently.
know that.
No, I meant put him in a game so he can hit 3 home runs.
Mr. 3000, exactly.
He's not doing it anymore.
All right, I need you guys to go because I need to flame the circle.
Okay.
Oh, can't wait to hear this.
I have no. I want to
I'm
say
gonna
this
go
in advance.
Los, love you,
Can't
buddy.
wait.
VP.
Listen,
I'm
I
going
want
to
to say this.
full Targaryen
Okay,
today.
I want to say this in advance. I don't know what the hell
He
is
doesn't.
going on.
No.
I
just called him, and what did I say to you?
You said, I'm going to torch, I'm going to flame, I'm going to burn it to the ground, the circle. And I said,
this the
don't
end?
tell me because
Maybe.
I want to be surprised on the air.
The circle is in trouble, and
Red
maybe
wedding?
the end of the circle.